Welcome everyone to Our Town Podcast. Please take a moment to like and subscribe, share if you can, and review if available. We'd love to hear from you, so comment below and tell us how we're doing. Don't forget to visit ourtownpodcast.com for all the links and join the members only section of the website or sign up on Patreon. Now here are the boys of Our Town Podcast.
Keeping it classy.
Don't do if you've got the diarrhea.
Oh, yeah.
How do you sound? Do you sound pretty good?
Gee, I guess
You feel good?
Ba-ba-da-ba-boom. Yeah, that's Hoop-a-doop-a-doop-a.
God, get that out of there. That frog.
I know.
Hanging out there.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my...
Yeah, that was best in, what was that, Spaceballs?
Oh, my God. I fell out of my chair.
With John Hurt.
I did. Oh, you don't, not again.
Oh, man. Well, Mike, do you think that girl is done?
Ah, shucks.
That special
She'll never be done.
She'll never be done. Well, welcome everybody to another exciting edition of Our Town Podcast.
Extraordinary.
Yes, it is. Episode 123, Mike.
Wow.
If you can believe it. And I was working on a couple ideas, and we had a guest, like, we were fishing, and it was like nibbling on the line to come in. I think we'll get them next week, maybe.
Nice.
So we'll figure that out. We've got a few lined up for you folks. But so I was putting this episode together. I had an idea, but there was just so many things in the headlines, so many in the news. It was just like, holy crap, we could just talk about the goings on.
Current events.
Yes, all day. So that's what we're doing. We're just going to talk just the news today.
All right. Yeah, so this is a time capsule of sorts.
It kind of is, yeah. Listen to this again in a year and see if things are better or worse.
Get just where they're at, right?
Yeah. That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And tonight's safe word, and a year from now, you can use the same safe word, is toll house.
Toll house.
Like in the cookies, Mike.
Yeah.
Because in the fall of 2019, the ISS, the International Space Station, figured out a way to create an oven that the astronauts can actually bake cookies in space. And I'd never heard of this before. I thought they were just like tang and eating out of tubes and baking cookies. The whole point of it, though, was that, preparing food, making your own food, and the smells of stuff cooking really takes away the stress of being...
long time. Oh, yeah. I mean, just being, all of it, all added up because you're in space in a tiny...
Yes.
Oh, man, it's
thousands
all of the
miles from...
It's anything
other living. Yeah. So, it just adds the normalcy for their time away from home and just giving you that variety of good-smelling foods. Because I don't know what that protein paste smells like. It smells like grandma's cooking.
It smells like squeeze.
That and vodka.
Because we're planning, long human habitated trips, and we don't have freeze them on command technology, right? One way is to get them back. That's the hard part. We could flash freeze it there, but
get you back. Geez, and so if you're not feeling safe, Mike, or you folks there can play along, just hit pause, yell out Toll House, and take a few deep breaths.
When's the last time you baked some cookies?
Man, it's been maybe a couple of years.
They're nice.
It's fresh baked cookies. There's nothing like it. Or fresh baked bread. Any fresh baked anything is nice.
Thank you, NASA,
for
bringing us baking technology
to space. Just in case. Mike, jumping into the headlines. And like we said, there's a ton here, so I'm going to be just kind of all over the place, sir. 1,339 days to go, folks, if you're keeping track. Just to let you know. But the Trump administration, you remember January 6th? You remember the insurrection? You remember those fine tourists that were just trying to...
Watching it live. And then being told not to believe
what you saw. Well, the person that got killed there, one of the protesters that was shot, Ashley Babbitt, I think her name is, the Trump administration has agreed to give her a $5 million settlement as sort of a wrongful death death kind of a thing for somebody that entered the Capitol
I thought he backed the
violently
blue.
illegal.
Doesn't he back the blue?
No, they don't back the blue if it's against their
And I'm not pro-state power shooting citizens, right? But there's rules about where people can go, and if you can break through a barrier,
and if
it's like they were warned many times to stand down. It's like, of course, the state was going to use deadly force in such an instance. Of course,
they had to break through that barrier, and she was climbing through.
Yes,
and I think it would have been a straight line to several House members.
Yep. There was no further barrier.
It was that barrier and that one.
Yeah, not cool, dude.
Cop that was there.
Yeah.
That.
And the reason that the congressional grounds aren't up armored is because this had never happened before.
Yes.
Right? We had no reason to up armor our lawmakers' job sites. Right? Oh man, madness. And then the I don't even know the spin. Right? It's madness.
It's just
madness.
Eurasia has always been our enemy, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's just fucking,
just
nuts.
Yeah, because it's evidently effective. So but anyway, as you were saying, Ashley Babbitt is a wrongful
$5 million.
death. So that's I don't know the conditions of that. It's like, are they admitting what? What is the government admitting?
Yeah.
Because the argument that harm was done is obvious, right? But it's like,
are they admitting too much force, or
because that wasn't a civil rights thing, right?
No.
I don't know. I don't know. To me, it's just like, I don't know. You hear weird stories of like, well, they broke into the house, but the homeowner defended the house, and then now they're charged, or some kind of thing. It's like,
he was breaking in and cut his hand on the glass or something, and
but we also saw this unfold, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I've seen the clips, not live, but of them smashing down that barrier and her trying to squeeze through.
Yeah, and that's why the state power there, which in this case was the federal government of the United States, had a handgun. Right? He's not all
right.
You know what I mean? Because this had never happened before.
Yeah.
Right?
And
then
they'd already probably had radio report. I'm sure. I'm sort of surmising, but that there had been attacks on officers, which we know there was. But the guy that's there behind that barrier, probably hearing that they're using bear spray, they're using implementations. They're in body armor. They're all kinds of stuff.
Yes,
because they're getting that stuff over the radio.
And there were obviously all sorts of different people who breached and broke into the the congressional buildings.
The mob. You can say the mob.
There was but there were definitely some dangerous human beings.
Yes,
and mobs. Guess what? Hate to be the bearer of bad news. They're dangerous anyway because they're behaving in a lawless and unreasonable way, and I mean that in the idea of reason. Right. Mobs are dangerous things. Right?
You can take.
I don't know, dude. It's not cool, and I don't. It's not okay.
You can take a mosh pit or a rave or a hippie dance outside of a Fish concert, and it only takes a few bad apples to get the rest of the crowd riled up.
It's always the fish. It's always the fish show.
Was that a bad example? I don't think that was a bad example.
Yeah. That's like the difference between 28 Days Later zombies and old school zombies.
Oh man. Well, speaking of the government, the Pentagon officially has accepted the $400 million Qatar 747 jet to be used as Air Force One. So they accepted the gift. They're talking about possibly years of retrofitting.
I don't get it exactly. It's not like he can just jump in and use it. There's no way. Maybe. What if he does?
I'd be okay
what if he
with
does? No, because who knows what he's saying?
Right.
The guy just.
Oh, you mean like if it's got
he's
spy
actually,
flare in there?
At the very least, who knows what else? It's like a little.
I was just thinking non-defenses.
No radar system. It was too heavy. I don't believe in. Radar's DEI. Anti-missile defense systems, that's DEI.
We don't need
fucking
that.
take it like a man, dude.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
You're a fucking badass.
Yeah.
But that's also socialism.
Yes.
Right? And he always talks about giving away his salary or whatever, but nobody has profited more from the office while in the office than that person. Right? It's just, I mean, it's obviously, but he's given enough people the raw meat of it so that it doesn't matter. It doesn't, and we've just been told to be, at the very least, mistrusting, if not outright corrosive to all institutions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is like, wow, even the ones that work.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, do you think anybody voted to get rid of Medicare? Like the mandate that he speaks of? Yeah, get rid of Medicare and Medicaid.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
nobody voted for that.
Yes.
Not one
Nobody
single
wants
human
this.
being. No. Total ding-dongs, right? The New Federalists or whatever, the Lyndon LaRouche guys who are like, bootstraps are death. You know what I mean? It's just madness. And just shown to be silly, right? That whole mindset is just greed personified. It's all it is. They try to make it into something else, merit-based benefits or whatever, but they don't really mean that anywhere. They don't mean that. No,
it's just a way to get rid of it or push it back on the states.
To make us feel guilty for being mad they're stealing from us.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, no, you're stealing from us and have been for a long, long time.
And then they'll just offer tax cuts for the ultra-wealthy. So.
Yeah, so they get to just take from us, because we're still paying taxes, right? And give nothing back, but use the most, benefit the very most, use the most of all the resources, the judicial system, blah, 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 have the most voice in policy and pay the very least into it.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't come up with a dumber but more diabolical plan, right? It's just like, and that's been the human model for most, but 250 years worth of our history, right? It's like, because that's the same format as feudalism, right? And feudalism is just another format for pharaoh, right? It's like, we got to get out of that.
Yeah.
Or, because what is it, and I've been thinking about this a lot, is let's just say these 1,000 days go quickly and as least painfully as possible. What are we landing into? What's our follow-up plans to improve the institutions that we do need, right? To make everybody feel they do have some kind of voice in their future.
And how long does it take to turn that battleship around, that aircraft carrier back around?
Stuff has just been a blip.
Because then you're like, oh, we got to raise taxes.
And if they keep it close, I don't know. It's I don't know.
It's madness.
It's madness.
Yeah.
But what's our landing strategy? Right. And we're out. It's a low altitude dive out of a plane without a parachute.
Yeah.
Is what it really is.
Right.
So how are we going to land? There's some water over there. Right. Can we just
drop and roll?
It's going to hurt, but we can probably survive it. But we got to plan for the landing. You can't just hope for the best, bro. It's going to sting.
Yeah.
You know.
No matter what, it's going to hurt.
Yeah, no matter what, it's going to hurt a little.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
But like you were saying earlier, before the show, 1923 or whatever, with Sir Harrison Ford and Dame
Helen Mirren. Yes.
I haven't watched it, but like you're saying, like the deputies beating the shit out of a citizen. Right? It's like, and that's, George Floyd in the modern times, etc., just the perversion of authority is the problem there, right? But January 6th said we had to have some kind of armed response. So those are, we got to balance that out somehow in a civilization, right?
I mean, there's a lot of ideas, and you can't just militarize it, right?
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. You've got to put out the hand, but be prepared.
I know. The older I get, the more I see that there is a carrot and a stick scenario within all of us. There's a carrot and a stick. Like, you know what I mean? Because we're gonna hunger for one or the other in a way, right? It's weird. I don't know. But anyway, sorry.
No, my suggestion is to eat the carrot and turn the stick into a fishing pole.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, I like it.
Do your best.
Save some carrot then for a stew or something.
Eat half the carrot.
Yeah, eat half the carrot.
Make a stew. Mike, you've heard about the The genocide of white farmers over... No, you haven't, because it is not real.
It's not real.
But the South African president, and I try to get his name right, Ramaphosa.
Cool, right on.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
He showed up at the Oval Office this week.
Yeah, he sure did. And what
for a meeting and handled himself really well, because I think that's the new thing, is for the administration to invite world leaders into the Oval Office so that Trump can make a show of it. They did it with Zelensky.
100%.
They did it with the new Canadian Prime Minister. They
so it
tried
just takes on a whole different feel. He's got planted reporters, right, for softball or really aggressive questions, depending, right?
Well, the nice thing here is the South African president didn't fall for it. He came prepared. First, he brought a couple of professional golfers because he knew Trump would fawn over him to sort of make that a more gentle environment. He gave him a gift of this big golf book that Trump probably likes.
Oh, because, that's right. Trump's a golf guy.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And then he brought like a South African billionaire, not Elon, who was there, who actually stood up to Trump because when they sat down, Trump started talking about this genocide that was going on, and he was showing pictures of like these mass graves, which were actually from Zimbabwe.
No way.
It was like a protest. They were fake graves with fake crosses because they were protesting something. And then he brought up all these newspaper articles from probably,
the Daily Sturmer. You know what I mean? So it's like some fucking Nazi mag,
and then they dimmed the lights and played this video for the president of South Africa talking about this white farmer genocide. But even the billionaire...
They brought the president to like embarrass him into admitting this is happening, or whatever?
Just to not be able to sit there and deny it. But the guy was ready, so they knew they were going to bring this up. So he brought like his foreign minister that was able to give facts and figures, all this stuff, and it really sort of put a damper on Trump's plans. He finally either seemed to get bored with trying to espouse his bullshit,
push him around or whatever.
He knew he wasn't going to get to him, so they moved on to something else. So why do it? I think he just wants to look like he's the tough guy.
Actually, he's got to be the big dick in the room.
He's got to be the big dick in the room.
For sure. I mean, that's obvious. But he's easily played with that, right?
Totally. And so what the officials from South Africa says is, yes, there is a rural crime problem with farmers out there. In fact, 225 people have been killed on farms between 2020 and 2024, so almost a 4-year period.
That's
225 people. Of those 225 people, 50 of them were white.
Oh, geez.
The rest of the farm folks. And it wasn't that they were like marauders on this farm. It could have been some dude that worked on a farm, was shot in a bar, or got into a bar fight and died. Could have been all this stuff. So there's not this mass graves of white.
No, but so what is going on? Because these guys don't just want to come here for some quick socialism, which they do. They get stipend after stipend after stipend. They get free money, free mass shit. They really do, because that's a Class A designation. That's a refugee. Right.
I don't know what is it, like 21?
I don't know, but I think they're just making or they're all faking it. They're all. There's no more soldiers of fortune than in that country. They they export. You know what I mean? It's like, just like you could say that there's a corner on the market for jihadists in a certain part of the world. There's a corner on the market for soldiers of fortune, and that happens to be it, man. That tri-state area down there, man.
I will say that after so many years of apartheid that only ended in like 1990.
Yes.
Right. That the ownership of land disparity is massive. I think,
and I don't think it's changed much since.
And it hasn't changed much since then. And a lot of the black folks that live there are still living in sort of townships and stuff.
It's rough, man.
With not a lot, and they probably looking at these rural farms and looking at all that land, right? So I don't know. I'm guessing that's the motivation. But
farming's not a great way to get a lot of people employed, right? But it is a can be a decent way towards upward mobility.
Right.
For a person, therefore a family and a group, right?
It's land ownership. Yeah.
But I think it's property ownership is what we're talking about. Because then that's housing, hospitals, schools, all the other kinds of things. And all of that is, people can't go upwards if they can't own something in a type of capitalism, right? It's really hard.
It's really hard. Yeah. That's why that generational wealth thing here in the United States is a big deal.
Yes. And that's, yes. So much so that those who have it don't even think about it. Yeah. And guess what? Those who don't have it kind of forget about it too.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, And I was talking to a lady today about, the fact that we are okay with generational poverty in the United States. Yeah. Right? And we've allowed the policies being made to be fine with it forever, in fact. Right? And we're not alone in that. Yeah. But we're kind of alone.
They should have pulled themselves up by their bootstraps.
Yeah. When any time after the Second World War, we had the infrastructure, the means to feed and clothe every American, for sure. All of that infrastructure for house building and all that was there. And somewhere along the line, we kind of went, well, we don't want them coming along too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So just shut it off, you know? Oh, fuck.
Oh, geez. But I was glad to see that, President Ramaphosa?
I like it.
Ramaphosa?
No, I'm just being difficult over here.
It could be.
I don't know. But what a guy.
Didn't fall for the bullshit.
Yeah. And I really don't know anything about him, but
and
I don't know.
J.D. Vance was hiding behind a couch
something it's like,
you didn't say thank you.
Yes, I'll touch him. Touch him death. I don't know. I don't like the idea of a bully president in this way, because do that to our enemies. Yeah. Right? This guy's not your enemy. Yeah. Right?
It's you want to bully somebody, get some,
Go for Putin, bro.
Yes.
Kind of tells us something, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it really does.
It's like, not cool, dude.
But you're just going to start World War III. No, you're going to call him out on his bullshit.
Yeah, could. The only person on the planet who really could. I think she could. Yeah. Because he really needs to sell oil to China. Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah. He does. He couldn't. There's not enough markets otherwise. Right. Not right now. Maybe if India decided to support Russia. Right. I'm sure Trump's going to give everybody the okay as soon as possible. But if they don't, and Europe's going to, they don't want his gas anymore, right? It's like, without the extraction and export businesses, no. Russia's sunk.
Yeah. Geez, well, moving from South Africa over to North Korea on the Korean Peninsula, and I say this to kind of be funny, but it's kind of sad because it's probably true, but some people are going to be dog food soon over there. I don't know if you heard about this, but the North Koreans just finished making this destroyer-class vessel, and Kim Jong-un was on site to watch the launch of the thing. Well, when they cut the ropes for it to slide down the thing, some mechanism didn't work, and the whole bottom of the ship got crushed. Just basically ruined the ship, or somebody's going to have to put a lock.
Oh, geez.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody's going to the docks. Oh, yeah. Right.
They use Reynolds aluminum foil and shit.
It's all we got.
Yeah. I don't know if they make their own steel. Where they get steel? They got
probably from Russia.
Yeah, Russia or China.
Yeah, Russia or China. Basically, part of the hull was crushed, and Kim Jong-un, watching it, said it was out of the bounds of possibility and could not be tolerated. It's criminal, and these mistakes would be dealt with.
Bummer. I bet he means that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Somebody got embarrassed.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Did not want to. Man, stay away from North Korea for
Oh man. Because they're men that are celebrated as babies. Infantile behavior. Yeah. It's weird.
It really is.
Yeah, not to solve the problems, right? Because isn't that what the best of men can do, is seek out a way to solve problems, right? That's when I think of the best men of my life, that's what I think of. Yeah. Right? Not this, getting mad.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
What do we do now?
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, we let our aircraft pilots, or aircraft carrier pilots, just do Brodies or something.
course, we did lose a couple of jets.
Yeah, a couple jets here and there. But that guy didn't he turned into dog food, you know?
Which is,
that's better.
Well, speaking of North Korea and the stuff coming pretty soon with, them trying to get the intercontinental ballistic missiles and stuff like that. Well, good news is the Trump administration is going back to a 1980s concept. You remember Reagan talking about Star Wars and the net?
I think we went like $1 trillion plus into it, man.
Yeah, did we go that much
I'm pretty
into
sure,
it?
yeah.
Geez, well, he's wanting to create something called the Golden Dome Missile Defense Program. Of course, it's got to be gold, and the map of it showed the United States all embossed with gold and all this stuff. But they want to create like actual weapons in space, which I think would just be satellites that are able to knock out other satellites or missiles that might be coming. Trump says it will likely cost, or he says his estimate is $175 billion, which is a joke, right? No. It's like
they won't even finish planning.
Can't even get out of bed for $175.
I mean, not for something like that. But I'm not I'm not against such programs. I just don't trust him to be oversee. He doesn't oversee anything.
No.
So who put this thought into his mind?
Well,
I'm guessing Musk.
Well, and he wants his name on it. Yeah. He wants his name on all this shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But
I also think say, look at me. That's what I did that.
Yeah, because who's launching the most satellites out of anybody on the planet right now?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? That's no, it's Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah.
No, he wants to be able to have all of this stuff within his personal button pushing on-off.
God, scary thought.
Right? Yes, he does, though, for sure.
Scary thought. Trump expects it to be fully implemented, he says, by the time he leaves office in 2029.
Oh, my God.
It's not going to happen. But the CBO put together some rough estimates for this type of system, and said it would likely cost $542 billion over the next 20 years. And that's at today's prices.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't trust such thing to not be a boondoggle. Yeah. But an idea of something like that, I don't think it's terribly bad.
No.
Because I don't like the idea of intercontinental ballistic missiles. But then that just creates another arms race. Yeah. And that's where our money went the last time. Yeah. Remember? Mostly working people's monies.
Right.
Stock market was doing great then, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. Because I just don't feel like I can trust any kind of plan these people are making, right? Bummer. But remember, I'm the one who recommends everybody gets a Patriot missile battery. You get a battery, you get a battery, you get a battery. And just set them up in your neighborhoods, I'm telling you. Yeah, but then you got to pay the subscription fee. You got
to keep downloading the upgrades on the app, right? Yeah, jeez.
Anyway, when I got Oprah money, y'all get one.
Yeah, your own Patriot missile battery. And what could they cost, right? Jeez. Mike, your Secretary of Homeland Security cannot define what habeas corpus is.
No, and dove directly into just a bootlicking. I mean, yes. Yeah. It means the president can. Yeah. It's like, and then pulling up Abraham Lincoln in the same sentence.
Yes.
Really? The same circumstance is occurring right now. We're under siege. But that's why they were using that language.
Yes.
That it was an invasion.
Yeah. What did she say? She said that it's the constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country.
It's so gross.
That's what habeas corpus means to her.
And she said people.
Yes.
So I think that she doesn't care who that is.
No.
Yeah. No, and saying secret police, why do they think they're not on the list?
Right.
We've seen it so many times in history when a dictator comes into power, his circle go away too.
Yeah.
Who are they kidding?
As soon as you get a little too popular.
Yeah, as soon as they think for a moment that you're not loyal.
Yeah.
Right?
Just have to think it.
Oh, fuck. It is. It's like the cornfield kid.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But he was a kid.
Yeah, he's a kid.
He's not an adult.
Who didn't know better.
Yeah. And like a grandpa and shit, man. By the time you're a grandpa, you can't be like that. Right?
You would think so.
Fuck. Yeah. Let alone be president. You know what I mean?
So she did get a little lesson at the hearing. I don't know if she took it, but it was offered to her. Did you get your invitation in the mail for the Bezos wedding?
No.
Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez are getting married soon. I think sometime later this year. Oh, it's next month. They're going to Italy.
That's nice.
Which would be nice. I haven't got my invite yet. They are going to spend, reportedly, for the wedding and the ceremony and everything, $50,000 per person.
Wow.
That comes to the wedding. Remember we talked about...
They could just cash me out, though, if they want.
When CM Ed Prince was here, we talked about how the city runs on like $862 a day, something like that.
Each citizen
really low
cost
price.
The city like $850 in a pack of smokes.
How long would that, $50,000?
Yeah, per person.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're going to have about 200 guests, so it's not a huge wedding, but that's a good-sized wedding.
Yeah. Geez, and I guess that props up the local economy to some degree, right?
$10 million they're going to spend on this thing, but giant.
That's actually not as massive as I would have thought for those guys,
for the
to be honest.
Yeah. But it is.
Because he's among the top 5 richest humans ever.
I think so, yeah.
I would sure think so.
Still.
Hundreds of billions of dollars, right?
Yeah. This is a drop in the bucket for him.
No,
right?
Yeah.
$10 million?
It's a simple little affair.
10 million probably makes that in a day, right?
Oh, something. I don't even know.
Some crazy thing.
Yeah, no, it's numbers that just don't matter.
It's that lady in the meme that's trying to calculate the...
Yeah, Julia Roberts in the complex math. So good.
Yeah, geez. Would love to go, Jeff, if you're watching the show. Would love to be a part of your nuptials. I will rent a tux.
Oh, yeah. Or we'll bring our town shirts that look like you're wearing a
like
tux.
The Gong Show shirts.
Yeah, we'll live stream. We won't charge you.
No?
Yeah, we'll live stream for free.
That'd be great, yeah.
That's cool.
It'd be great.
I don't know. Hope he has good music and such.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll only make positive comments.
Of all the things in his life, that's probably that's my top 10 least irritated things about him, right? It's like the hoarding of vast... Right, because wealth is potential energy.
Yeah, I guess
what it is, right?
I guess this does get money out into the the world.
You said $10 million?
$10 million.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, that's going to help that small chunk of Italy, right?
And all those people that are flying in for it, hotels and restaurants and stuff like that. So I guess it's not...
I mean, that's how economies work.
Spend the money. Yeah, because they were talking, I saw something today where it's like, you go spend $10 on, dinner. And the restaurateur that has that $10, takes it and moves that $10 and pays for his taxi ride home. And then the taxi driver goes and pays that $10 to his babysitter. And then the babysitter goes out and buys a new jacket from a local business, and just keep that $10 ends up creating a lot more over time.
And that's why hoarded wealth is hoarding potential energy and potential opportunity. It's hoarding.
Yes.
Right? That's not an unhealthy behavior.
Yeah. Can we just say that you've won capitalism? Give you a trophy and take that money back?
Yes.
Yeah. Mike, this is an interesting story. Scientists have found that all living things, humans included, emit a light that's very hard to perceive. It's very hard to perceive because there's so much ambient noise and light that is always around us, so it's hard to separate out the light that we emit. It's a very faint...
Do you know what the frequency is? It's like invisible light?
It is visible wavelengths of light emitted by biological processes, but they're so faint that the ambient electromagnetic waves and the radiant heat from all living things makes it a huge challenge to track that light. But what they were able to do...
With our eyes.
With our eyes, But what they were able to do was observe ultra-weak photon emissions,
well, of course,
UPE, in strong contrast with non-living bodies. So I hate to say this, but they took mice and measured that light.
Man, alive and dead?
And then measured them dead to show that light wasn't there.
They waited until they died of old age.
They also did it with plants, too, though. So they would, measure the amount of light as they're alive, and then
because it's a byproduct of biological cell action of some kind.
Yeah, yeah,
that's interesting. I feel like I read about that in the secret life of plants or something.
Oh, maybe so.
But different frequencies, right? Like the body's aura or some kind of thing.
It's your aura.
Yeah, I was going to say Arwen.
So when we die, that light goes out. Somebody flips the switch, and then you're done. Your body.
Geez, wow, that's intense.
But yeah, that was the first time, and I don't know if they need to, have their processes more reviewed, their scientific processes, but they're suggesting that every living thing has this emitting light.
Yeah, geez, I wonder if certain biological processes make it more intense or less intense.
Maybe. Because it's hard to measure, because if you try to heat up the cell or movement and stuff like that, then you get the...
Yeah, you're altering... It's and that's the double slit experiment, right? If you have to... And Heisenberg also, it's like, if you have to... We have to do to see something, we have to alter it to see it. You know what I mean? Yeah, and then you're not seeing the thing.
Right.
Thanks, Heisenberg.
But is the cat alive?
Yeah. But in my mind, always.
Always. Yeah.
It's cats all the way down.
Cats. This story, Mike, switching gears back to sort of politics, but this story has been sort of in and out of the news from different angles. The Department of Homeland Security swears it's not true, swears that Kristi Noem has no knowledge of this, but this is pretty fascinating. There's a reality show that is being produced by the same guy that produced Duck Dynasty, Dating Naked, and The Millionaire Matchmaker. I've heard of the Duck Dynasty. I never watched it. But that guy is creating a reality show for immigrants to win their American citizenship, a la Hunger Games.
Yeah, but then that's just cheapening all aspects of that.
Yes.
So citizenry is not cheap.
Yeah.
Right? It's so weird.
So either a news organization or somebody with the show has claimed that Kristi Noem is on board, thinks it's a great idea.
Oh, geez, who knows?
But her office is now saying that no, she had no idea anything about it, doesn't want anything to do with it.
Until she's out of office or something, right? But I don't know. It's just gross.
Yeah. So how do they compete? Well, they say that they're going to bring immigrants from all over the world to Ellis Island, get them started there, then take them to the mainland where they'll board a train called America. And this train is going to take them from destination to destination across the country, where they learn how to do and compete tasks based on either that part of the country,
the local economy.
So we're talking about like rolling logs in Wisconsin, or gold mining in San Francisco, or...
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And then, you will win. What they say, it would be 12 contestants. You will win your American citizenship.
Oh my God.
If that happens. And I don't know how they can give somebody that citizenship without...
Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way.
Immigration and naturalization being
would have to
board.
sign off for sure.
Yeah.
Which also isn't Homeland Security. I mean, we never should have had a Department of Homeland Security, right?
Yeah.
It hadn't streamlined shit.
Right.
Just year after year to try to find an excuse for its existence.
Yes.
Right? We already have an FBI, so goodbye.
ATF,
bye-bye.
the whole thing.
Oh, sure. All of which I kind of feel like should be FBI. Anyway.
I kind of do too, but I also kind of like the idea that there's a separation there, that if the FBI, if you get a Hoover type,
I guess that's true. Sure.
You've got some, balancing.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, ATF versus FBI.
Yeah, why is the ATF searching out? But you could say that too with the Secret Service, right? Why couldn't FBI agents protect
That's a good question.
Or the U.S. Marshals.
Because I think, Secret Service is an aspect of the military side, isn't it? No, it's not. It can't be. They have to be a civilian system.
It's Treasury, because they protect and then they do currency
counterfeit.
crimes.
Currency crimes. Only when they're asked to, apparently. Oh my God! And certainly not the Bitcoin style.
No. Oh my God.
You know what I mean? It's like, and suddenly all these ethereal currencies are skyrocketing right now. It's like, yes, because there's massive amounts of crime going on right before our eyes. We're watching the political class sell itself out. We're watching it happen. Of course they're laundering it in digital currency.
Yes. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Because what kind of regulations does it have?
Zero.
Right.
Nothing.
So
gross. Man. We should have just got in on it. That's why we're mad, Charles.
I know.
Should have ran
I had bought Bitcoin.
I just meant run up a dog catcher and be like,
just
to pay me the money.
You want the doggone? I need $50 in Bitcoin. In Bitcoin.
No, just kidding.
I'm not a fan of this idea. I'm a fan of like shows that go around and show different locations. I'd be a fan of taking a newly immigrated person around and kind of showing them the wonders of what this country has to offer. But competing for citizenship just cheapens the whole process.
It kind of cheapens it. It's gross,
And people getting their jollies on. Look at them run.
Look at them fail.
Yes.
Right?
And then, what happens to the other 11 contestants? Do they get
El Salvador
plane ride back to El Salvador?
I don't know.
Jeez. And I didn't follow. I was going to, but I didn't follow up on that story about the immigrants heading to Sudan, which the administration was ordered by a federal judge
not to do such a thing.
But it sounds like they did.
Oh my God!
I don't know. I have to follow up.
So does he just have to issue blanket pardons to everybody? Because this is obviously breaking the law, right? And sooner or later, let's just say that the midterms come, we actually have an election, which I'm not even 50-50 about. We're gonna at all. But let's just say we do, and the Dems win back a large majority, just for kicks and giggles, so they can't just be stymied. They have subpoena power. They can do, all sorts of different things. Like a 15-seat majority or something awesome, which isn't that crazy. I don't know. I'm not sure that's going to happen. What do they do?
I would hope they have the balls to do something, but then,
he just pardon everybody out, right?
Just pardon everybody out, and then he's got most of the courts on his side.
And he can't be prosecuted.
Because he's got that.
And now he's building himself a loyal army, because he said that violence is excusable. You know what I mean? It's like, we'll see.
Well, in happy news, Mike, good news for Tesla pickup owners. The Cybertruck Tesla is now offering trade-ins for the Cybertruck. For the longest time, they had held off on offering any trade-ins because I think their reasoning, on paper at least, was that they had so many people still waiting on the wait list, and they wanted to make sure all of them got their order before they started accepting the used ones back. So good news is you can take it back for a trade-in. The bad news is, one, it's a trade-in, so you're only getting the value for a new Tesla vehicle. And the other bad news, Mike, is that the trade-in value is $65,400, while the original truck cost $100,000.
Wow, so lost a third.
35% depreciation value.
Not as bad as I would have thought, to be honest.
Not as bad as I would have thought, but it's still huge.
Is that only good for trade-in, though?
Only good for trade-in.
So that's why that's elevated.
Yes.
So no, it really has dropped, because they're not going to sell that, because for them to sell that Cybertruck again and to make any profit, right, it would have to go back up to 80-something. Right? And they're not going to get, that's not going to happen.
Right.
Nobody's paying $80,000 for a used Cybertruck.
So you can trade it in for that, but you're not going to turn around
so that's like getting store credit for your records. That's what that is. Which I still still do.
Never give you enough.
No, but once in a while, it's worth it.
That's so the average pickup truck in the U.S. gets about a 20% depreciation value. And my parents were always sort of frowned on buying a new car because you just drive it off the lot and you're out of money.
Yeah, I think that's a fair adage. But now they're lease things, and people lease them now, and then so you just keep rolling that lease, right? But I've never done that, but people do.
And it's already been proven that the Tesla pickup is a flop because Elon's original estimates was that he was going to sell 250,000 of these things, so they ramped up production. I don't know how many they actually built, but they really only sold like 39,000 last year. So
I think there's 70,000 just sitting waiting. Just sitting.
You go by the shop here.
I think there's 3,
which is an odd spot.
It is odd,
for
and
it.
They
must have got a good deal on the property.
And
I guess it's not bad because it's sort of.
And I think you just kind of do everything online, and then you just go pick stuff up. It's not like going to a car dealership, right? So it's just kind of a. I don't know. There's a lot of things. They could have been good about that company, but then one particular person poisoned it for all time. What a ding-dong. But at least he kept his job, and in fact has failed upwards throughout his career.
He's still arguing in Delaware court to get this massive payday that the federal courts are like, no, there's no way you should get that kind of compensation package. So interesting, And he's still fighting that in court.
I bet.
So it's interesting, and it's surprising, I guess, that the board would try to reward him for all he's done. So
but I think some of them are afraid of him, and some of them are enthralled by him. Is my guess. I don't know.
Man.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
I was going to mention something else about that, but it's gone.
How long until we see him sold to a police department as an up-armored? I think they want to up-armor and automate those things really bad.
Because there was talk in the early days of Doge that
it'll be a T800 in the back, dude.
That he was trying to push it as a military vehicle.
People want to shoot at him. I don't know if that's the idea.
Is that the same thing?
I don't know. I've never seen any video or talk of one that had been successfully up-armored. But they're just not capable vehicles. You see them try to go through sand and mud and shit. You'd be way better off in, guess what? A Toyota pickup.
Right.
That's why they do that. Right?
Geez,
they're the TIE fighter of Earth.
The wife and I are talking about, because the kid's gonna probably be taking driver's ed next year, and then birthday 15, she'll be 16 in a year and a few months. So the thought process is we'll end up giving her the wife's Jeep.
That's neat.
Cherokee, whatever she's got.
That's great.
Which puts the wife needing a car, and we both
she needs
really
a Cybertruck.
We've both been really liking the electric Volkswagen bus.
Oh yeah,
have you seen those?
Just recently.
They're pretty cool.
They are pretty cool.
Look like that classic style.
Yes, they do.
And stuff like that.
Oh, she'd have a blast. with that.
So we're kind of looking at that.
All right. Geez, that's
as a possibility.
neat.
60,000, I think, for some upgraded model.
Like a longer range, maybe. Would you set up the system at your house? Do they come out and do that for you? Is that something you get an electrician to do?
I don't know, because like the Slate truck that we've talked about a couple of times, my understanding is that just plugs into a regular, like you don't need a big conversion kit or a big thing. I don't know the Volkswagen, but it's possible that, you could just have an electrician come out and pay. I think, actually, now that I think about it, when I was looking at the Volkswagen website, I think there's like a thing that you can buy that just converts your house power very easily.
I could see that. Just the less amperage,
plug
the
in the
longer
box.
it takes, right?
It just probably takes longer.
But that's the only drawback to it. Oh,
but if she's, working where she's working, she's,
it would last a month.
5 miles a day.
Right? For sure. That's great. Doing Brody's in the parking lot.
100 miles a week.
Eat my protons. protons.
Oh man! Speaking of protons, did you hear about the Mexican tall ship?
Yeah,
There's
that was
Mexican
a
name.
bummer.
I don't know much about it. I saw article after article.
Ship, man.
Beautiful, like three-masted sailing ship that the Mexican Navy cadets sailed up to New York.
Yeah, we've got the Eagle, right? What's the American one?
I think that's right. Yeah.
It's just a beautiful tall ship, man.
Yes.
Oh, they're magnificent things.
Yeah, so my understanding is this ship actually went and ran into the Brooklyn Bridge, and it snapped all three of the masts, which fell down and killed two of the folks on board.
Yeah, and two, I think, crew members.
Injured a bunch of others. I think there was 277 people on board that ship at the time. It's a 297-foot long ship, 40-foot wide. So it's a massive, sailing ship.
Ocean-going sailboat. Totally cool, dude.
Yeah.
But how tall the bridge is,
right?
And during whatever time of day, what their depth of.
My understanding is somebody they were going to head back out to the ocean, which would have taken them the opposite direction, and instead they went towards the bridge.
Bummer.
Yeah.
So
not a lot of damage to the bridge. It was probably
that's still a lot of mass. It is a lot of mass.
Somebody said go, west instead of east or vice versa.
Oh, but the water's moving the other direction.
I would think so.
I would think, unless during a high tide it comes out.
Maybe.
Like the mighty Dewan.
Yeah. Jeez, man. So feel really bad because those, young guys, folks that are trying to, but.
Oh, yeah. Because it's a cool human tradition.
Yeah.
It is. Sailing's something special.
Yeah.
It is.
My favorite is like the one of the memes I've been seeing is like a massive cargo ship, and then companies have been putting like a giant kite on the front.
Sure. To save fuel.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, you could just do who'da thunk?
Yeah, but the wind's not dependable. It's like, you mean the trade winds? Yeah, yes and no, I get it. And diesel is subsidized the entire way, remember? Right? And most ocean-going ships use the cheapest, sludgiest, shittiest diesel. Just glub. Because they're giant motors, right?
It's like to clean that filter.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't know. Pretty fast. Yeah, I'm sorry anybody got hurt.
Yes.
That's a drag.
I think 19 people or 20 people injured, 2 killed.
And a beautiful ship.
And a beautiful ship. Yeah, and I wonder, so that ship got to stay somewhere in New York to get repaired?
Somebody
or they
could tow it back? No, you sure got it. Beats me. I'm sure there's a port nearby with a shipwright somewhere.
I think it was like based out of Acapulco, which is on
that's
west coast, right, of Mexico? I want to say.
I feel like you're right, man.
So that went along with the Panama Canal and all that.
Just carry it over. 290 feet, did you say?
297 feet.
Yeah, that's 40, big. Oh,
that's
man.
A big boat.
Wow.
That's a big boat.
Yeah, sorry anybody got hurt. That's a drag.
Yeah. Geez, Mike, the Trump administration is allowing the permitting of a device that allows your standard firearm to rapid fire like a machine gun.
That's what we need.
It's basically, I guess there's it's called a force trigger reset in most guns that forces the trigger to pull all the way forward before you can depress it again, is my understanding. Sure. Don't hate me, gunsmiths, but that's my understanding of what it is. So it takes away that ability so that it can make an automatic firing weapon by having that, which is scary to no end. And then the new, I don't know if it's
was that an administration thing or did a court rule on that?
Well, I think it's beforehand.
Like who made that into law now? Or
it was part of the Brady bill, or it's a Brady Guardian or something bill or something, but a Brady bill basically. And they're basically just telling the ATF not to enforce any modifications like that. And in fact, if anybody had an automatic weapon that the ATF has confiscated,
they got to get it back.
Give it back to the original owner.
But it's just in a closet somewhere?
Yeah, somebody's got it.
Oh, man.
Hanging out somewhere. It's a bit scary, right?
Yes, no, that's an awful idea. And that's not the same thing, because in my eyes, a loose translation, because is the part about to keep and bear arms, right? But the part before that is the well-regulated militia being necessary,
yes.
Right? The well-regulated part also in there. But even then, that keeping and bearing arms is not unlimited. You can't have bazookas. You can't have nuclear bombs. It's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, so that slope exists. Saying that you can't have automatic weapons isn't madness, right? That's not that unreasonable, dude. It's not. It's really not. Except for, I bet you could have applied for some type of can't you do that in like Vegas? Can't you go out into the Nevada desert and fire automatic weapons and shit? So you can apply for a license. Because they have very strict gun laws. Right?
I do remember when Kyle and I took a trip to Arizona a couple years ago, and one of the things we looked at was going to a range that has those types of weaponry. So you could fire an automatic weapon. I would never want to own one, but...
No, but that's saying that there is a way to do that. It's not a ban in the way that people had called it a ban, right? I don't know. I don't see why that's necessary. I really don't. I really don't. There's not many societies have allowed like that level of weaponry just among with no legislated resposibility along with it. Right. You don't have to keep them locked up until they're in your person. That should be right along with it. Right. That's a medium regulation. It's just if it's not locked up so that it can't be accidentally or purposefully taken, right? I don't get it, dude. I don't get it.
And I don't get why, an organization like the NRA, which I think probably started out as a decent organization when we were founded way back in the early 1900s. I don't either.
I'm not optimistic
I think it was more about gun safety.
I hope so. That's
and
nice.
Stuff like that.
Hunting and stuff like that.
But just this, you would think that responsible gun owner. It's like now you can be, a DV drug addict can go out and buy an automatic weapon, right? Because you can't it's a Second Amendment right. You can't take it away from them.
Yeah, I guess if it's a non-felony, right?
So, I don't know why,
But
somebody
most
that was
DVs are misdemeanors, bro. That's a misdemeanor.
Yes.
So yes, you could. Right?
Or even if you were convicted, did your jail time, you get out of jail, you've paid your debt to society, you're off probation, whatever, reestablish those gun rights, right? I'm just like, do we
there's a process to do also.
Well, I don't know. I'm all for, as a gun owner, I'm all for common sense gun laws.
Just because we're in a shared society, right? And that just means promoting responsibility and accountability, right? That doesn't mean getting rid of choice or whatever, right? But some stuff, because obviously, like you can't have a missile launcher, right? Right? It's like I don't know. Of course, there's limits to it, even with the First Amendment. Since day one, we've decided what the parameters, what the framework of that is, what the parameters of all these are. None of the Bill of Rights are unlimited, right? Because we're not a singular person. We're a nation of many people, and therein lies what I like to call the compromise clause.
You can't do liable, but can you yell fire in a crowded
no,
movie
you can't.
House? Is that against the law?
Well, I'm sure it's against the law, right? Yes. To cause panic.
I mean, they'll fall.
Certain things, I think it's the idea of saying something that is untrue to cause panic or whatever.
Because they'll find disturbing the peace or
you
something.
can get disturbing the peace seems too far to me, right? It's like, but you know what I'm saying? It's like...
Right.
We've decided since day one that these things have edges. Right? So we shouldn't pretend that because it's ridiculous. Because we're not that responsible of a creature. Right? And we're mortal and we're able to just go bippity-boppity over stupid shit.
Freedom of the press, any of that.
Any of it, obviously. And for the most part, I tend to say we have too many restrictions on these things, right?
Yeah.
Because the pearl clutchers or whatever it might be, but just not on the guns. Where everybody's like, "Oh, fuck it!"
Yeah, it's okay. The wife was just watching a documentary. I didn't watch it with her, but on the Las Vegas shooter who had the bump stock thing, and it just, I mean,
what a piece of shit! What a cowardly piece of shit! What a piece of shit!
Yeah, I just don't.
Oh, so awful.
Oh my gosh! So yes, that should be if you need to get your machine gun on. Shouldn't be that hard to do coming up.
Yeah, it's an industry.
Mike, Florida joins another state in banning the use of fluoride in public water. It's joining Utah, which was the first state to outlaw the use of fluoride in public water, the addition of fluoride. Because I don't know if fluoride is naturally occurring in some waters or not.
No, not in the levels that we would like them to be. Right, it's a delicate balance there.
There's a few other states that have introduced legislation to do so as well. Kentucky, Louisiana, Massachusetts, which surprises me, Nebraska, and South Carolina all have legislation in front of them to follow suit. But I started reading up on fluoride. It's an inorganic tooth health boosting mineral that can help prevent cavities and strengthen teeth. And I remember as a kid going and getting those fluoride treatments where you had to put the little tray in there.
It just tasted weird. There's no good,
But as a very young person with baby teeth, tons of cavities. As an adult, not so much.
And I don't know. According to the people I trust to tell me about data like this, it's overwhelmingly been a positive.
Yes.
Right? Because remember, that's typically the gateway to poor health is through the mouth.
Through the mouth.
Right? And, I just don't, but even then I'm like, well, why has no doctors ever prescribed me fluoride either? Right? It's like.
But it's in your toothpaste.
It is, but in the water, what's its method of activation? How does it get to the teeth? Is it just drawn to that type of material to
as
bones?
It passes through your teeth and stuff.
Yeah, because it wouldn't really. There's not, when you're drinking tap water, it's not hanging out for that long, does it? Unless it gets into saliva or something. It's like, my guess is that it would be a type of mineral that's just brought to those, the mechanisms that work on those materials.
Okay.
Right? That's my guess. But I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
But evidently, Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is not a molecular biologist or biologist of any kind, but knows how to read data.
Right.
And I saw his little spiel on it, and so he's gone over the data, or at least goodly meta-analysis thereof, right? And I don't think he's lying to me. And Dr. Ibbs and some other, people I trust that know how to look at that data, right? Instead of weird anecdotal shit, right? Like it clogs up the pineal gland or whatever.
So the anti-folks say that it's industrial waste associated with arthritis, bone fractures, bone cancer, IQ loss, neurodevelopmental disorders, and thyroid disease is what they claim.
I don't know. Well, what's the evidence on that then? That's my only question.
I don't know.
And if they've got it, yes. If they don't, then that's different, right?
Well, the CDC says that it's one of their greatest achievements in America is the introduction of that fluoride.
I think worldwide people point to that as one of the 20th century's big wins, right? That and the chlorofluorocarbon ban. Those are two things where humans kind of went, hey, we can do this.
Yeah, getting rid of this.
But also, I think, are they using that byproduct, I think, of aluminum manufacture or something, right?
Is that
I believe, or some other industrial process like that. But is that where they're sourcing that?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Yeah. We don't know that.
We don't know.
Just like they get, some calcium comes from horse bone or something. But does the calcium you're taking come from horse bone? Probably fucking not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So to conflate these things,
you know what does?
Is not
gelatin.
Yeah, anyway, and collagen in general.
Collagen.
Oh yeah. From pieces, bits and pieces. Pieces, bits and pieces. But that's industry. right? Industry has brought us that, right? But it also brings us, you can go get shampoo. You can get 200 kinds of shampoo, right? But it all had all those collagens and peptides and proteins and shit, and they're not making that out of thin air, bro.
No.
It's typically some kind of animal product, right?
Yeah. Animal or plant. It's got to be one or the other, really.
Most of which you can make with plants, right?
Yeah, I would think so,
the
but
proteins,
it's probably cheaper to...
Yeah, and once you isolate proteins, you can build it into a bunch of other proteins, right? Some of which are very elastic, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, like T-Rex skin.
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah.
Looking forward to that.
How about, so it's like, who's the guy from Texas Chainsaw Massacre who wears the Leatherface?
Leatherface,
But with T-Rex
T-Rex
face.
Oh, man.
So like the Our Town T-Rex costume, but it's extra.
It's a little bit extra, this feeling inside. I think that instead of using the fluoride in the water, we should just use Gatorade for everything.
Yeah, it's got what plants crave, dude. We all know it. I don't know. And I, for years, have run reverse osmosis water purifier on my tap water, but that's not necessarily, and that's how you get rid of fluoride if you want to get rid of fluoride. But
curious about that is like if I bought, Dasani or something that's supposed to be filtered, but it's like tap water that maybe
hopefully it's not. Some are distilled. You could get distilled water, but then it immediately
I'm just talking about like that bottled 7-Eleven water or something. You need some water, so you end up buying one of those. Yeah. Is it filtered? Does it filter the fluoride?
It'll say sometimes it's spring water, which is from the ditch. And sometimes it is municipal water, but it's water in a plastic bottle. And if you have distilled water, typically in a plastic bottle, and that's why they kind of came up with non-BPA plastics, etc., it's because water really wants to befriend everybody. So if it's just water all by itself,
come hang out with us, Danny.
Yes. So if it's not mineralized, as we like to say, because that's nice to our palate, it's going to try to look for a friend, right? Because it likes to break.
The twins from Shining are the H2. Come play with us, Danny.
Yeah. Just say no.
I have to say this. I did work in the Crystal Springs water plant. Those are the guys that deliver those big giant water bottles to the cooler, the water cooler.
They have fights with the Culligan man.
But that's where you're all standing around talking about the program from this week. You can't believe what Mike said. Oh my God! And they do have a process. So it's basically a big warehouse, and they send these bottles in after they pick up the empties, and they send them through sort of a sanitary process where they're sort of washed out. Probably some kind of chemical process,
or steam or both.
But then it does enter this large sort of box in a box, right? A box inside the warehouse where you can only go in with hair nets and beard nets and the whole thing. You got to put your hands in the sanitizers before you go in there. You can't touch anything, and they refill it. And I'm sure it's just water out of the tap that is filtered.
Oh, sure. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And I don't know what the filtering. I don't know if it goes to charcoal and then.
But
some kind of paper filter and what.
Yeah, because those lighter filtration can take out like the chlorines and or ammonias and or whatever they put in there.
Maybe improve the taste a little bit or whatever.
Sure. It needs something to do so. Humans want some kind of salt, air quote salt in there, right?
Yeah.
Some kind of mineral base.
Yeah.
Because it's been running over rocks or whatever to get to our hands when we're all running around in the woods and shit with the fur.
Cedar River right over here. Mike's probably...
right downstream. I pee and then I run downstream to drink. Oh, man. I've gotten deli belly out of the Cedar River, though, for sure, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I've smelled like the Cedar River. Oh, man. Oh, no, for sure. But I love that river. I do.
Oh, my God. Gatorade. Mike, speaking of drinking, the bourbon brood of the Cicada? I never can pronounce the fucking bugs that come out every so often.
that's
katydids.
Yeah.
Whatever they are.
Yeah.
The big brood, the 17-year brood, is going to pop out in the next couple of weeks. They're big bugs that come out of the earth after 17 years of hibernation to root around for about 2 weeks, mate, lay some eggs, die, and then the next generation comes out in 17 years and does it all over again. They are completely harmless to humans, but they can be a little bit disturbing because they will blanket everything, right? And I guess...
And just oozing pheromones the whole time. You're just oozing.
Yeah, and they make that high chirp. Yes.
It's a trip. They're a pretty dominant species on the planet. That larger family, the cricket / locust / I mean, they're around.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But that's what a bonanza for a bunch of other species, just like herring or, the giant schooled fish. It's like they're just a bonanza for mass other species.
Birds and everything eating them. They die off. The only big thing for humans is, usually municipalities and stuff will, bulldoze them or shove them into piles and then they rot. And then you get the lovely smell. Or they turn them into,
fertilizer, right?
Snowpiercer.
The Snowpiercer snack bar.
I mean,
it's just like a Cliff Bar or whatever.
Got 17 years before you can try it again. But this is called
some raspberry jazz.
This is called the bourbon brood because this brood, the 17-year brood, is mostly based around Kentucky.
Oh, all right.
They will show up in like Pennsylvania and Tennessee and some other, southern states and stuff, but it's really sort of centered in Kentucky there. But yeah, man, 100 decibels their little call can get up to.
Wow, that's cool.
Which is nuts, right? And I don't know, I don't know if they do it all day and all night.
Beats me. I don't know.
I've been to places like Ohio and stuff, and I think but I never saw like where it was caked brood.
Yeah, no, I've never seen that, but I have seen like a large amount of insects and June bugs.
Oh.
Yeah. Just like a large amount of those guys too.
Yeah.
It's a trip. But Oh, crickets. Because they're announcing their presence, right? It's like if there's a bunch of ladybugs, you wouldn't even know it, right? I guess they blanketed everything. I remember caterpillars back when I was a kid.
Yes.
And they would blanket those tent caterpillars.
Yes.
Just blanket the fuck. They'd just fall. It'd be like a driving hazard.
Often now.
No, we nuked them.
Did we? Okay.
Oh yeah, we drove around with giant fucking and nuked the shit out of them.
And just
they must have been invasive species or something because they were.
Well, I remember the chestnut trees on Capitol Hill.
Gold.
Yeah.
Just. Yeah. Oh man.
And it's like, can you imagine you walk through a spider web and you walk?
Yeah. It was pretty gross. Yeah. Kind of silky.
Like William Shatner at the end of Tarantula or whatever that movie was.
Shatner, friend of the show.
Did you see he's touring with Neil deGrasse?
No, that's fantastic.
Yeah, they're doing like a little road show where
that's
they
nice.
Talk about space and stuff like that, which it's got to be interesting because he's not the super smart dude, but he's also a funny guy, kind of a dry wit.
I could see him playing in Everyman. Sure.
Just be like,
I think it's a great pairing. Actually, I really like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I do.
He was on my top 5 send of the aliens, right? For sure.
Oh boy. So just be glad you're not hanging around Kentucky in the next couple of weeks.
It's fascinating though, and I wonder how long they've been doing it in North America.
Yeah.
Right. Does that go back 1 million years, 10 million years, 50 million years? Sure could.
Yeah.
Sure could. They've been around a long time. Some type of species like that.
Right.
And that seems a behavior
continuing to do this.
Yes. 17 years for some reason to make it past some type of ecological cataclysm or something, right?
The worry now is with global warming happening, with the climate change and stuff, and the Earth heating up, is that they'll start to rise to the surface a little faster because they'll sense the warm. Yeah. So maybe we go from 17 to 15 years or whatever the case is.
Or are they going to be able to adapt for food?
Yes, exactly.
So they still got to eat something.
Yeah. They got to come out of the ground and
human flesh.
one can only hope, right?
Oh man.
Everybody moves out of Kentucky.
It's a Dragon Ball Z. I knew it.
May.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Did I tell you about that tarantula migration?
Oh, serious?
Yeah. Like these gray tarantulas.
What part of the world were you?
It was, I think it was New Mexico. I was riding my bicycle, and I thought I was hallucinating as I was coming up on it, but it was, I don't know, close
was the
to
whole road like moving?
Yeah, the whole road from left to right across this 2-lane blue highway.
Oh.
It was insane. And they were gray, and they didn't give a fuck about me. I just waited it out. And just went on and on and on and on.
Like a river.
Yeah, a river of tarantulas all hanging out together.
Was there something on the other? I mean, why did the tarantulas cross the road?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah, migrations. Just, and I don't think of spiders as communal creatures. So why are they migrating together?
Like
I don't know.
Maybe for their, for a short time. Once that's over, it's like, yeah, fuck you guys. I don't know you.
Or maybe it's just better for us to stick together for now, right?
Yeah.
Because even I don't think crocodiles are friendly with each other.
Yeah.
But they just happen to need the same thing, so they're elbow to elbow. But they'll eat each other. They don't care. Yeah. Right? It's like,
oh, you just had a baby?
Yeah.
let me check it out.
Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, he's on his own now. Oh my God.
Like thousands of these things?
I'd say thousands easily.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Wow. And were they, you think it's tarantula?
Not quite the size of my hand, but real close, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and gray.
And gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, tarantulas aren't, I
don't know if it was tarantula brand.
Right.
But whatever, it was a large-ass spider.
Large, hairy spider. Yeah. I don't think that they're like deadly to humans, right?
I don't believe so, no.
Yeah.
Depending on your body's reaction, but not typically, no.
Yeah.
I
still don't want to hang out with them.
No, or let alone like a big crowd of them, right?
Yeah.
Then they just all look at you.
What's that
fucking
guy?
hive mind spiders? I knew it.
How fast can I pedal this bike?
Oh man,
you turn
12-speed Nishiki that I got from Center Cycle. Oh man, I think it was like $100, $109 or something at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, it was a good bike.
Nice bike.
Yeah, pro model.
Yeah, you're like Alfred Molina and Raiders. Sorry. 50 spiders on your bag. No, thank you. Mike, speaking of spiders, there is a troublesome loan coming due for Mr. Donald Trump and his empire. It's coming due, I think, next month. He's got a $115 million mortgage against one of his Wall Street skyscrapers, 46 days away from becoming due. Problem is that the property is worth nowhere near that amount of money.
Huh.
So
he's
how does
way
he
upside down
cover
Or does he bother?
This loan? Or does he, maybe he doesn't bother?
Just let it go. What's he
just
scared
let
of,
it
man?
go.
That guy's got more money than the devil's cousin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
And he's got unlimited income. Unlimited. So it doesn't matter.
But it's 40 Wall Street. He controls the building, but not the land on which it sits. So that's another issue.
Sure.
You know, he's got the building, but not the land. That is held. The land is by a German shipping magnate family. He pays $2.5 million a year in ground rent, and that is going to skyrocket in 2033 to $16 million. It's nuts because, any other entity on Earth would be like up shit's creek for this. But you're right, with him,
no.
not much.
It doesn't matter. And he'll just tie him up in court for $12 million?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or whatever.
Well, it's $115 million is what he owes. It's worth about $85 million.
Yeah. All right.
So
he's 30 down.
$30 million less on the remaining balance. He could tap his crypto cash, which he's, or he could sell some of his True Social stock, which may or may not be.
I guess if he wants to hold on to it, but rent's going to go up. Well, he could just leverage the dude.
Very easily find find somebody to cover his loan. I mean, he's not above going to Qatar. The Qatari National Bank.
But $100 million to that guy really shouldn't be anything, right? Not in the last, since he's been running for office. It's like he has had to spend a lot of money on lawyers and all that kind of stuff. But
he does have some other legal expenses coming up. I mean, he still owes
nonstop.
What's her name? Like $85 million.
Jean.
I can't think of her name. But
oh man, and that was just a defamation lawsuit,
That was just a defamation.
Yeah, that wasn't the actual. Well, he was found liable for the sex crime.
Yeah, but it will be interesting to see how he.
Well, and now that they got to the bottom of the Epstein papers,
right?
Oh wait. Those got shelved again, didn't they? Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's almost like Bill Barr was his attorney general when Epstein died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go figure. Well, another interesting news, Mike, just what you asked for, a new Rambo movie is coming out, but not one that you would expect. It's a prequel, so it's not going to star Sylvester Stallone as the
Green Beret, was he? Something.
Yeah, the Green Beret. So the new actor will focus on the time during the Vietnam War.
Oh, jeez.
So,
but it's still the same character?
Same character, same, based on the first movie, which was First Blood, and I think that's the only book that this character is based off of. So they did First Blood, and it was successful enough, something like that, that they decided to make Rambo, and then
First
went
Blood
on
Part 2.
and then just
Rambo 3, weird Afghanistan.
That's right, Afghanistan, and then he was like in Burma 20 years later.
Oh man,
I don't know. And then he was back in Arizona fighting off Mexican drug lords. And stuff.
Man,
gets around.
Yeah, but why not? And this is what annoys me about keeping the franchises going. Is the well is deep enough. You can pick a different character.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, right?
I get it. People do like
the Chronicler, I guess, but I don't know.
Like with Indiana Jones, I would have loved, and I know they did the TV show with the River Phoenix and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I would have loved, even if it wasn't Harrison Ford, I would have loved multiple movies. I didn't love anything after the Sean Connery one, but they were okay.
And that was 4, right? No, 3.
That was 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could have gone back in time. They could have grabbed the dude, like the Han Solo.
They named him after the dog. Yeah, well, and that's kind of where I get it, is that, and I know we're off topic, but is kind of that. It's just like the Star Wars pantheon and galaxy, you can do anything.
It's wide.
You know what I mean? It's like, come on, we need to get past this 30-year period.
Come up with something
with these characters.
Andor's been doing. I haven't seen the new series.
No, you're right. I haven't seen the new one, but the first one was really good stuff.
So I'm looking forward to that. But yes, there's so much other stuff to mine out there in that universe. But, with a character like Indiana Jones, I'm all in for 4
that kind of adventure. Or it could have been a young his dad.
Or his dad.
You know what I mean? Or something like that. It's like a young Sean Connery. I'd rather see that than a young Harrison Ford.
I saw a meme today that was, don't let Sean Connery teach your dog to sit.
That's funny. That's good. That's wholesome. Shit.
You get what you ask for.
Oh, come on. Every time I walk by Shattuck Avenue, I throw a Connery on it. Shattuck.
This is interesting. So filming is set for this Rambo movie, set for starting in October, but they don't have a lead actor yet. They're going to film it in Thailand. It's the director of that movie, Sisu.
Shit.
Yes.
Okay, I'm in.
So I
then
saw that.
Call it something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be Rambo.
But people still have this sort of attraction to it. When is he going to come out?
Yeah. Yeah. And I know. I don't like, because he's so distinctively him. That
it's hard not to.
I know.
I don't know if there's
I saw a clip from First Blood or whatever. Oh, no, First Blood Part 2. Just like the ending of it. It's just awful.
When he's hiding in the mud and he pops his eyes open.
Yeah. But I remember being stoked.
Oh, man. When he was putting on that headband, everybody wanted that fucking muscle back, right? It's what weights do I lift to get
And why are you flexing so hard to put on your headband? It's your head.
Everything is so much, amplified.
Yeah. But I mean, was he? Is that his movie? Did he direct and everything on that?
He's directed a bunch and written a bunch.
Yes,
which he doesn't get enough credit for.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not Shakespeare, but they're good.
Shakespeare, he died poor. Sylvester Stallone is not going to die poor. You know what I mean? He's doing great. Yeah. And everybody loves Rocky. The first Rocky, everybody loves that movie. Yeah. Right?
It's one of the greatest underdog movies of all time, for sure.
And it just kind of set the tone, for that kind of, the underdog thing for a while, and then it just kind of went further, and then it became like Dirty Harry just killing dudes and shit. It's like, wow.
We talked a few weeks ago about his body count.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's like 211 or something. It's like he's Pol Pot all of a sudden. It's like, what the fuck?
We're rooting for Pol Pot.
Pol Pot Jr.
Sometimes.
How many more dads?
Just kidding. Yeah.
No, I can't joke about Pol Pot. That shit's just fucked up. Man.
But you kind of gotta. I mean, it's the only antidote for such horror.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. The only drawback, I think, so far is because I did see this movie and wasn't impressed, but the guys that wrote the screenplay for Black Adam, the rock superhero, I don't remember that being particularly good.
No, I think they tried to do way too much.
But if it's an actioner thing, because I felt like, and when we talked about Sisu in here, I kind of felt like he's sort of that underdog Rambo World War II Swede kind of a
who
dude.
Just wanted to be left alone.
Just fuck off.
He had retired from the murdering business until they brought him back. Yeah, he wanted to be left the fuck alone.
Yes, I want to take my dog and my donkey. I just want to go live and just leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah. And so everybody's like, well. But then they just kept going. And they are definitely the bad guys, right? There's no question that these guys, nobody's, you know what I mean?
Nobody's rooting for them.
Yes, it's like you
and
can
everybody
feel
loves a
fine
good
about
Nazi blown up because he gets a landmine tossed on his head. I gotta watch that again.
And the first one, he just goes, Fook.
Yes. Yeah.
The dude's just like demeaning him and just feeling so powerful. I could snuff you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes him a second to even register that he just got.
So good.
Yeah, that is a good movie.
I would recommend that if you want to get a little more. I don't know, I want to say intelligent, but more fun, sort of.
A well-crafted, extreme retribution film, right?
It
is. It's well-crafted.
Yeah. Geez, Mike, new TV series coming out. Not to get too much into pop culture, but did you like the Stephen King It's with Bill Skarsgård?
I didn't watch them.
You didn't watch them?
No, I guess I should, but I read the book and it scared the crap out of me. So much so that I kind of don't want to revisit.
Did you watch the Tim Curry?
No, I've seen clips of it though. Okay. It's terrifying.
Yeah. John Boy and Tim Reed.
Yeah.
I think John Ritter was in that. Yeah, that was good. I originally saw that. I had my first ex-wife was really into Stephen King, and I hadn't been growing up, and that movie came out. She said, it was a miniseries or something. We gotta watch this, But they're doing a prequel based on the Skarsgård It's called Welcome to Derry, where it takes place, and it's going to take place 27 years before the events of the movie, because Pennywise hibernates for 20, or not Pennywise, but it hibernates for 27 years, and then makes a reappearance, feeds for like a year, and then goes back into hibernation for 27 years. So they're going to make a new one. It's coming to HBO Max this fall. And Bill Skarsgård is going to reprise his role as Pennywise.
And he was well received.
Well done.
Right?
I mean, he just everything, right? That's almost he's been in a lot of stuff, and I wouldn't be able to name it all, but that would be like a career defining at this point role for him.
And was the Tim Curry version CGI, or was that more practical effects?
More practical effects.
Okay, so that's an interesting a difference between the two, I bet.
Yes.
Right?
And so Pennywise.
And budgets for TV series are up.
Way up.
Yeah, so that's something.
Yeah, I think more so even than some movies, right? Because you've got to produce 8 or 10 episodes or whatever it is.
Larger cast sometimes. Right, depending,
Depending, again. So if you will look for that. Look for that if you're into it. But Stephen King is a national treasure, I think.
Right. I mean, again, maybe not Shakespeare, but apparently he's touching a nerve with a lot of people who read books. Right?
And I think
he watch movies, right? Since day one.
Wrote a few things that, he doesn't even remember writing. Like, I was in a cocaine fuel.
Oh my God, that's great. Plus, if you've done, I don't know, how many million words is that? Right? Yes. A lot. So it's like, of course you're going to kind of, oh, fuck, really?
And let me say cocaine allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, because I don't even...
but kind of, one of the additions to the soundtrack of our lives, right?
Absolutely.
And was that grade school? Probably. Yeah. Like he was coming to Cujo and...
Right.
I was reading them because they were all hand-me-down books, right? When I was a kid, I remember the V.C. Andrews books being handed down at like grade school. It's just like maybe they weren't appropriate, but...
Right. I didn't read much of Stephen King. I saw the movies, though, so Cujo for sure.
Yeah.
Christine. God, that scared the shit out of that arm coming out of the ground at the end there.
That's
always
Carrie.
me out. That's Carrie.
Christine
was the car, which was great.
Ferry.
Yes. Don't fuck with the Plymouth Ferry. Man.
Yeah, no, but a bunch of them.
Yes.
Stephen King. And The Mist, right?
And The Mist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the Hadron.
The Hadron Collider.
Yeah. Open up that portal, baby. Let's end this bitch now. I don't know which creature I want to die by, though.
That 50-foot woman.
Yes, I accept it. Just slide me up there. Mike, scary in real life, severe weather in the Midwest and the South, man. Have you heard about all the tornadoes? I think 27 people dead in the past week or so.
Is that Missouri?
Missouri and Kansas, a few places that got hit hard. Tornado Alley, they call it. And it's only getting worse every year, which is not great. And the other issue right now, and I don't have the numbers to give you, but the NOAA or the NAOO, what is it? The National
Oceanic Atmospheric Administration
has been severely cut, and
even monitoring stations.
Yes, somebody produced
what
a map.
What is the point of that?
And they took the map of the continental U.S. and they put red over the areas that are now not being 24/7 monitored by any NOAA
person.
NOAA. So you're not getting the
that's
fast response
without any plan to. You could remember when SETI first farmed out collating data to people with their home computers. You could do that with that. Just leave those things up. If you don't want a dude making $120,000 a year with a union job, going through that data and monitoring all this shit, blah 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 blah. Okay. But have a plan in place to get the data worked on.
Right. Yeah.
What the fuck is the point of that? That makes no sense. It puts American citizens at risk. Right? And, or even, let's just say that they're greedy. That these people are so greedy, they're like, we don't want to spend a dime to help somebody that's not in my echelon.
Right.
The insurance companies are going to run out of money. Right? Or not be able to make money on these claims. Right?
And just stop.
So then what?
Like in Florida,
so then what?
Stop offering
and
insurance.
that's where the state socialism was happening is we would pay just like we do for Florida, right? We sponsor that, all of us, we do, right? So that they can insure those homes, right? What happens when that ends? Right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man.
Because insurance companies are big wealth dumps, right?
Right.
It's like, oh, yeah. They need to stay stable, right? Because it really keeps Wall Street, et cetera, kind of stable, right?
Yeah. So I feel bad for the folks there. Just remember, a lot of that's red state territory too.
Yeah.
No one say that that's who's affected, and not saying that any way, shape, or form that we shouldn't help those folks
because they're still citizens, right? But that's
you get what you vote for.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Elections have consequences, obviously. But again, the Democrats need to have a cohesive, clear, clarion call
this is
of what the plan is. Yes.
This is how we're going to get back on track. And they need to do it. They need to be producing that now, so it's very clear.
So they got to just show that they're engaged and working. And Chuck Schumer needs to get fired tomorrow. It's kind of off topic. Fire all the nationwide Democratic Party leadership. Fired. That whole political class has got us into this pickle. They have dropped the ball. Now the Republicans are seen as the party of labor.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Are you kidding me? How did we allow that spin to happen?
I don't know.
And that's a loose we, right? But are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's like they all need to get fired, right? Or they need to form their own party and let the Democratic Party get back to what it can do and has done in the past, right?
And then
with a new plan.
Yes. And then caucus together.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. But the Mnuchin, not Mnuchin, the Manchins and those kinds of guys. He's out now. But that kind of weird, real Republican as opposed to psychotic Republican, don't need to be in there. They should go elsewhere, right? That's fine. They're the problem. They're not the solution.
For years, the centrist Democrats are like the John McCain Republicans now, right?
And the same donor base. It's corporate donor base, right? And so that's who gets the seat at their table.
Just pushing them farther and farther to the right, to the right of a better.
But even then they get chastised by the psycho right.
And then the psycho right
not
still
right enough.
Convinces everybody that they're communists.
Like Merrick Garland was some radical. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God,
like
are you
he was
kidding?
part of the Weatherman Underground or something, right?
Oh my God. It's like, what?
Like he's coddling up to Noam Chomsky or something, right?
Yeah, but we got Eric Holder, who's was and I think continues to be like a corporate lawyer. Right? You know what I mean? It's like, where did you think his attentions were going to be? Right? And it's like, oh my God, no, they got to get fired. Chuck Schumer's got to go. Immediately. He's still playing 1975, dude.
And it's not doing anything.
No, this is not Tim O'Neill that you're dealing with, dude.
No.
These guys want to burn it all. They are actively burning it all.
This is not scotch in a Georgetown smoky bar.
They want to deport your friends and relatives, including, they'd throw Schumer and Pelosi and everybody else on a plane if they thought they'd get away with it. It's coming. If they need to pump it up a little, they will, right? If they really need to spark something off, they will. And I don't know if I'd go to war for Pelosi. Okay, maybe.
Well, I'd go to war for my rights, but not
people are being
specific.
trafficked right now, right? It's kidnapping and trafficking right now. That's happening right now. It's just not with obvious American citizens yet, but that's very obviously coming. No duh, right?
No doy. Well, speaking of aged Italian East Coasters, Trump and Springsteen and Taylor Swift have been in basically a war of words where Trump has attacked Springsteen for talking negatively about him. Springsteen went to England and talked about how bad of a president he is, deranged and traitorous and all this stuff. Freedom of speech, boys. And now Trump Trump's up in arms and, saying he's a has-been and can't, but the guy's selling out friggin' stadiums, right? He's still selling records. He's still, and he doesn't have nothing left to prove in the music world.
And Donald Trump right now is the president of the United States.
Yes, what is he focusing on?
He's got other shit to do, man. Yeah. So which shows that he's not spending time doing these other things. So who is doing the other things?
Yeah, it's all his minions. Yeah. So 2 a.m. he's sending out a post on his True Social, says that since he's attacked or since he's called out Taylor Swift, she's not as hot as she was anymore. It's like, this is what you're worried about at 2 o'clock in the morning as president of the United States.
So weird. It's so weird.
If Joe Biden had said, Kid Rock needs to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah. Would have lost their fucking minds, dude.
He would have been
got freedom of speech, you son of a bitch. He wants to shoot Bud Light cans out of his cold, dead hands. You know what I mean? And that's fine, right? But but what the fuck, man? He's got other things to do, man.
You would hope so. Yeah. He's got fucking golden...
Yeah. And I really think are we going to talk about the Jake Tapper book tonight?
I don't know. Okay. I didn't read it.
But I think one of the reasons Tapper et al. Released all this now is because it's that same kind of thing as projection, right? It's like because and I said years ago that he was going to get out of his legal troubles by saying that he had dementia, Donald Trump.
Yes.
But now that Tapper's book comes out and says that Biden was far less capable during the last bit of his presidency than we were led to believe.
Let on, yeah.
I don't know. I haven't read the book, but evidently that's where he's going with that. But I think he's trying to throw that out to soften the punch when Donald Trump gets seen to be, because he's not making sense, right?
No.
And he's not really doing his job. So I think the same thing that Joe Biden is being accused of, not doing the job, having the cabinet do his job.
Well, you can't take these, what are the septuagenarians? What is it, the 70-year-old? Septuagenarians.
And then an octogenarian. By the time he was leaving, it's like no cognitive test.
President is a 24/7 job.
Yeah, it's physically demanding.
And
people that old, hopefully they're wise, right, and have more knowledge, although in some cases evidently not. But the cognitive function is not as sharp. That's a fact. That's a fact. In very rare cases, you do see, well, my great uncle, he lived to be 109. Of course, there's anecdotal cases, but by and large, humans slow the fuck down, man. It's a thing. Yeah. So why are they in the job?
I don't know.
Because there's no rules saying they can. But
if the Biden administration and people close to them hid this fact from the American people, shame on them.
Shame on them. And if there is a criminal charge in there somewhere for fraud, or the doctor could lose it, because the doctor's with them every day.
Yeah, no issue. Issue. Charge him. He lied to the American people.
Right. So, or at least loses license to practice.
Loses license to practice.
If he was lying, she's a doctor. His wife,
but she's not a medical doctor.
No. No, she's not. And that's for the cancer thing.
How did she not see that he had
she's
cancer?
not, in a wife who comes out, although she's the wife of the president first and foremost. So I would say it is her duty. If he really was having cognitive dysfunction, it is her duty as an American to bring that to somebody's attention, right? Just as an American. That's not ditching your old man, right? That's your duty as an American, which supersedes any one person, including your husband.
And I've always been an equal opportunity, law breaking, go to jail, face the consequences person. So if Hillary Clinton has a body count up,
where's the charges?
Oh, yeah. I'm waiting. You guys have been in power off and on for so many.
Where's the deep state?
Where's the deep state?
How come they didn't strike back?
Right. How were you elected?
Where's the deep state?
Right.
Yeah. They just want to fire people who had good jobs.
But I'm okay. You want to go? I no love for Hillary. If she committed a crime,
throw
the book at her.
I don't care if you're a billionaire or a pauper.
Yes.
Right? It's like, and of course, that's why we have not robots in charge of our judicial system. Is you're supposed to be able to see each case on its merits anyway, right? So if the pauper needed that loaf of bread, it's just like Hunger Games. I got to feed my kid, right? You know what I mean? It's like, and there's no kindness or charity available, right?
Yes,
it's
that's why
but if the billionaire makes rules to where people die downstream, that's different, right? It's like, I don't know, man. Yes, the justice is blind.
It's supposed to be.
But it's not cruel or thoughtless necessarily. It has been, but it doesn't have to be.
Well, that's why you answer those questions in the Senate if you're lucky enough to be chosen for the important job of a federal judgeship, let alone the Supreme Court, is when they ask you, how do you feel about Roe v. Wade, because it's been the law of the land for 50 years, set precedent, all the things, and you come back and say, it's set law, no problem, and then you go do something completely different.
Send it to the states. But California can't set their own automobile standards.
Right.
Send it to the states, except for that. Except for something that pinches the extraction economists.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? It's not even taken away from the guys who make the tires.
And that's why there needs to be term limits for judges, and that's why there needs to be more impeachments of judges.
I would just say more pressure on them.
More pressure.
And then, yes.
Or just show that they can be, because they get into that role for life.
Yeah. And the idea is, I don't mean like gross pressure. I'm not talking about doxing people. That's not what I'm saying. But that the larger society isn't a bunch of goofballs. That we, the people, can have a relatively unified voice that's not craziness. Right? If we behave as infantile adults, we're going to lose everything. Right? So we got to meet the task. Meet the challenge.
Yeah, so I have no problem. I've only dabbled in the Jake Tapper book, but if his sources are telling the truth, if this is stuff that he got from credible sources and he published it and it's an honest accounting of
I still think it's a little soon.
It's probably a little soon.
But because Donald Trump's tearing apart the Constitution. So I think by going, but this guy was worse. That's not helpful right now.
No.
But he's got to sell books, and it's a good time to sell books. You know what I mean? It's like... but that also points to my point a few moments ago, where that whole Democratic leadership, because that was part of, he's a good fundraiser.
Yes.
Can Kamala win?
Right.
Or Kamala, sorry. You know what I mean? That's the Democratic Party leadership making these stupid choices. Right? Keep him in the race. Oh, no. Now we got to pull him because he absolutely demolished his... it's done. If you have that, the right-wing part of the country, once they saw that debate performance, that's all they're going to remember him about. That's it. That's it. Right? And so his handlers, that Democratic Party leadership and power mongers or whatever, they put him in that position. They kept him there, right? It's like... Yeah, man. She could have been in
way before and not had this perception that she's only there because she didn't earn it. That was a lot of people, including family members, that saw that and were like, I'm not feeling comfortable with that vote. I'm not voting for that guy. But I'm not comfortable supporting.
It just badly handled, but nobody lost their job over that.
No. I know.
Right? So it's like, if we being the resistance, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, the non-Trumpers who want to see America go a different direction perhaps than it has been to some degree, but we don't want to destroy it in the process, we need a plan. We need a plan.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of being lost, Mike, actually found after 37 years, Jim Morrison's bust from the
graveyard?
Père Lachaise.
Did somebody steal it or something?
Somebody stole it back in 1988.
Jeez, I don't remember.
And it had been often chipped away at. People were taking little chips out of it to take with them. Somebody actually just stole the whole damn thing back in 1988. Well, the French police or prosecutors prosecutors were busting some other thing, nothing to do with this, and they made this search in a criminal case and found the bust sitting somewhere, maybe some guy's office sitting on a shelf or something, and so it shall be returned to the graveyard. I think I don't know if the Morrison estate can decide whether or not to replace it or whatever. They never replaced it after it got stolen, and I think maybe the cemetery was like, too many people come in, do the thing. But it is a popular cemetery. Morrison is buried over in what they call the Poets Square or Poets Area, because there's other poets there. Edith Piaf.
Oh, that's neat.
Marcel Proust, Gertrude Stein, and Oscar Wilde are all buried amongst other artists in that little section of the. So he's in good company.
That's pretty cool. I wonder how many of the 27 Club are in that graveyard.
Jeez, I don't know.
It's like it's always the sensitives.
Yeah, was Oscar Wilde part of this 27?
I don't know how the guy.
I don't know. I remember when I was in Dublin, I saw that there was a park dedicated to him, and they had a statue of him on a rock, and so I split up with the gals, and I hiked up to where this park is. I hiked all over Dublin, downtown Dublin, but hiked up to where the statue is, and it's actually really cool. It's kind of him on this big stone, and he's just in a repose, just kind of leaning back, kind of giving that laissez-faire kind of attitude with it. But after 37 years, finally found.
That's neat.
And I've seen pictures of it, but obviously I've never been to Paris, so I may stop in there if I go someday.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool place to go.
Cool place to go. Yeah, sculpted by a Croatian artist named Mladen Mikulin, I think is how you pronounce his name. If I got it wrong, you just let me know.
And that was 73.
When he died? 71 when he died.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, 27. I think it was a few months before I was born.
Geez, the first album was like 67, right? So they had like a 4-year.
Album was 67, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and they had like 5 #1 albums or something in a row or whatever.
I don't know. I was a fan as a youth.
Yeah.
As a youth, I really was. Yeah. And Live She Cried is an incredible record.
It really
That didn't come out. That came out much, I wouldn't say mid-'80s or something.
Was it I think
something
you're right.
Like that,
early to mid-'80s.
Yeah,
but great. Great performances.
Yeah, didn't we talk about Soft Parade or something like that?
Somebody mentioned Ray, I think. X-Ray. It was talking about that. Yeah. Which is sort of a interesting album to choose as your favorite.
Yeah,
Not
great.
bad.
No,
I haven't listened to it all the way through in a long time, but
been a long time.
Spent a lot of time on the Doors in my youths.
Have you been to any cool cemeteries? Not to diminish the
only the one
in Seattle.
Seattle.
That's neat.
I did visit a few down in New Orleans, which are kind of cool because they're all sort of that raised look.
Yeah, we gotta stand by.
Those are kind of cool.
Did you go by the Anne Rice house?
I did not. No. Yeah, it wasn't my gig there. Did a few voodoo shops down in the French Quarter, which is kind of cool, and then got beignets over at the Café du Monde, which is tasty. And a muffalata sandwich at the Central Grocery.
I'm listening.
Muffalata is you take like a French roll, sort of hollow out the bottom, and you put in this thing called olive salad. So it's green olives, cauliflower. It's a vinegar base. Put that down, and then you got your cold cuts. You got your provolone cheese, usually melted. Big muffalata. It's just tasty as all. I think you can get the muffalata.
It's almost like a relish, but I like it.
Like a tapenade.
Yes. Oh, that's a great idea.
Yes. Yeah, with the cold cuts and the cheese, it's just great. Kenny, what's up, bro? Well, speaking of music, Mike, ICE, the Immigration Customs Enforcement, raided Kid Rock's big ass honky tonk rock and roll steakhouse in Nashville. The New Orleans office of ICE decided to raid all those Nashville bars there on that main road looking for illegals. Well, I think they got word about it and they closed early that day. day, so they weren't able to round up anybody. But he did get.
He got a call for sure.
Yeah. So that raid reportedly netted 200 arrests. About 200 arrests.
Any bosses arrested? Any of the people doing the hiring?
That's where I'm talking about. Do you want to build the wall?
Yes. Isn't E-Verify a law?
I think so.
Right? I thought it was a law.
But you want to build that wall? You go after the employers for these folks, charge them the fines in the laws that are already on the books, take that money and build your fucking wall.
Yeah, but it just shows that it really is also a war on a class of people, right? To begin with.
Yeah.
To begin with. Yeah. The working class that has no representation in law.
Yeah. Right? I would be curious to see next? With those 200 arrests, what the fines or arrests were for the non-immigrants.
Yeah. Even a manager.
A manager.
Right?
A hiring HR person, something.
Yeah, if it's such an invasion and all that kind of stuff, aren't they aiding and abetting an invasion?
Yeah.
Aren't they, right?
80, yeah, big time. Geez, well, speaking of Kid Rock, he did go on Fox News, his favorite news program, to say that the U.S. birth rate is low because, quote, no guy wants to sleep with ugly-ass, broke, deranged liberal women.
What?
That's a direct quote from him.
But didn't we just say on last week's program that the birth rate in the United States is, in fact,
it went up a little bit, but I know that we also talked about the Trump administration trying to come up with something to incentivize.
Yeah, no, that's just so they can pay people. No, that's just going to be paying white people.
So further quoted,
universal health care is how you promote people to have babies.
Yes. You think? He also further quoted, I mean, if you look at these rallies, it's like a bunch of women that no guy wants to sleep with and a bunch of dudes that want to sleep with each other. Sounds like a fucking party to me, but...
I don't know. I just don't really take a whole lot of advice
from Kid Rock. No, I don't either. So there's been a lot of backlash naturally about it. And
but he's got to try to stay relevant, dude. Oh, yeah.
You know, saying, who wants to sleep with this?
Yeah. Right. Oh, my God.
Method-looking motherfucker.
I don't know. It's a trip, dude. It's a trip. People are easy.
Yeah, people are easy.
I mean, back in the Oog and Og days, I mean, was it the same? There's just some loudmouth piece of shit who just fucking swaggered his way into everything.
Nobody liked, but they didn't know what to do with.
Because I would think back then the proof was in the pudding. Right. Like if you're like, I'm the best hunter in the world, but you weren't, then you just kind of died out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Slog takes your head off. Yeah. Geez, I mean, that's natural selection, right?
Something. I don't know.
This is interesting, Mike. Speaking of oddball primates, there's a report. It's a Panamanian island called just starts with a J. I've got it written down. Forgive me. Jacoran, if I'm pronouncing that right. Scientists have seen that certain types of monkey species are kidnapping babies of howler monkeys. So these capuchin monkeys are stealing howler monkey, a different species, babies, and not doing anything with them. They're almost like a trophy. So they steal the monkey, they put them on their back, and they cart them around. They don't feed them, they don't interact with them, they don't play with them, they don't do anything.
They're just punking the parents.
I guess.
They're killing off the species slowly.
Or just look at me, look what I got. Like it's his own little action figure, right? And unfortunately, the little howler monkeys die because they're not getting any mother's milk.
It's like a Takamichi or whatever.
Yes.
Oh, man, that's a trip.
So scientists are like, the only thing they can attribute it to is like a cultural fad for these monkeys to do this. I don't know how long they last,
got one, so I want one too.
Maybe.
And the howler monkeys are just unable to defend their babies or something?
I guess not. I don't know if the capuchin monkeys are a larger
or just
species or more aggressive or more, whatever. But it is an island that's uninhabited. It's very rocky. There's no electricity out there. So scientists, they boat out, camp there, observe. And they saw one monkey do it and they're like, what the fuck's going on? So they observed it for a while and they caught it on like trail cams and stuff like that. And then they found like 11 other monkeys sort of copying that behavior.
That's the 100th monkey thing, right? It's like they learn behaviors as a group, and then it just kind of spreads to even separate groups and such.
Nuts.
Baby snatchers. But they're not eating them or anything like that.
Not eating them. They're just letting them
like they are a pet or something.
Entertain me.
Yeah.
They need a little grinder.
Do the thing.
The monkey can do. That'll be next.
It's a missed opportunity for you compare monkeys or whatever.
I mean, it's sad.
The show biz. Stop.
I gotta make it big.
Crazy.
It's just a nuts kind of a thing. And I don't know if this is something that, could only happen on this island like evolution kind of does, right? Or if this could have been learned elsewhere. But it seems like you're saying, the one guy gets it and they're like, oh,
that's a better idea.
Oh, what are you doing with that?
But that's not necessarily beneficial to the clan either, unless it does bring them joy or something. But then once it stopped working or whatever and died, then are they going to get sad about it, or are they not? Can they go? I don't know. I don't know the emotional capacity of this type of monkey, really. But
and at what point do the howlers get together and fight back? I mean, geez.
Oh man,
Planet of the Apes, I guess.
Yeah, geez, that's how it starts. I did see something. What was it, man? I feel like it was chimpanzees riding bicycles or some shit. I'm just like, we're fucked.
Like a learned?
Yeah. They were doing it in like a race. It might have been, it was in some tropical place where it was almost like a circus kind of thing. But they were doing it for sure. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's all we need.
Smart monkeys.
Smart monkeys that are mobile. They're like Death Race 2000 with chips.
Holy shit. Oh my God. Speaking of, smart monkeys, Wendy's is offering a new monstrosity. Do you remember the KFC? They had the chicken sandwich, but it was like 2 pieces of chicken with cheese and bacon, and that was the sandwich, like the chicken.
Like no breading?
Yeah, it was the bread. Do you remember that?
No.
Well, Wendy's has created the grilled cheese cheeseburger. So basically, if you took a cheeseburger and you put a bun on top and a bun on the bottom, and then slice of cheese. So it was basically a sandwich within a sandwich, which was like a grilled cheese sandwich with a cheeseburger in the middle. But we're talking 4 pieces of bread. Talking probably 4,000 calories or 4,500 calories or something crazy. But just another monstrosity. If you want this, you got to go to Canada. It's only in Canada right now.
They were always superior in their burger technology.
And it comes with a side of poutine or whatever.
Oh man, just for all the carbs. All the carbs and salt, dude.
Get your whole month's worth of sodium and carbs in one meal.
Oh, what a way to go. It's a long winter.
Oh man. Yeah, geez. The grilled cheeseburger. This is kind of fascinating, Mike. There is a chess master. I don't know if you follow chess, but a guy named Magnus Carlsen. He did a chess match where he played the world. So there's an actual website, I think it's chess.com, where people can play each other. He played 143,000 people from around the world in a chess match. It took 46 days to complete because each side got 24 hours to make a move.
Up with a move,
So the 143,000 people would decide on the next move. I don't know if somebody like nominated a move and then everybody voted on, what they wanted out of that. If there was I don't know how it worked, but I know the majority ruled on the 143,000, the world team, to make the next move. But
that's still 143,000 brains against one brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
They played a freestyle game, which I'd never heard of before, but it starts with the pieces all in a random spot.
What?
Yes, I've never heard of this before. No. So you move, I guess maybe a computer simulation or something tells you where all the pieces go. The world had his king in check 3 times.
Wow.
And because of that style of game, or maybe just because that's the rules of chess, competition chess, I don't know, but that created a draw.
Oh.
So so the world against him ended up in a draw.
Sure.
And there was another game like this, but it was only like 70,000 people that participated. So
yeah, but I mean, that's really impressive, though. And who knows who these people were? If this is 143,000, like kindergartners,
like, move the pond, move the pond.
yeah, we don't know if this is like
Bodie McBoatface.
Yeah,
that's what we're voting for.
Yeah,
Chessie McChessface.
Yeah. So good. So, but that's pretty impressive.
But it's pretty cool.
Because what's the meme? It's like 1923, 7-year-old Sarah McGuffin played a game of chess against 43 separate chess masters. She lost every one.
But it's impressive that she tried. That's classic. But this dude is a 5-time world champion grandmaster.
Wow.
And I don't know what organization, some chess world or something, but he's held the #1 position since 2011. So he's no slouch in the chess, world.
No, but that's impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But that's a lot of brains against a brain.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's in me because wasn't it Gasparov or somebody? What's the guy's name that played against the supercomputer or whatever?
Right. Yeah.
Gary.
I think it might be Gasparov.
Yeah, I remember that from back in the day.
Yeah, I get him and Gagarin. But Gagarin was a cosmonaut.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So you won't find me anytime soon.
It's
I like some casual.
It's cool. I guess our governor Washington State right now I think he might be a grandmaster.
Oh,
Bob Ferguson? Bob Ferguson, yeah.
Wow.
Evidently.
Huh.
Doesn't always seem like it.
He's a smart dude.
He is a smart guy.
And he looks like a grandmaster chess player.
And hopefully he is playing a long game.
Yeah.
But he signed a huge tax bill. And
yes, I saw that.
It's a budget. It's not just a tax bill. It's a budget. And there's a bunch of things that the legislator did have at hand. It had its hands tied with them, but a lot of things they didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just always feel like the big kids get off without paying their fair share.
Right. Yeah. Always. Always. Mike, Sesame Street has a new home. You remember they were talking about PBS getting cut. Netflix is going to pick it up, so it'll air on both PBS and Netflix coming up later this year. So new episodes, both on PBS and Netflix. Netflix will also get 90 hours of Sesame Street programming to put on their platform so people can go back and watch.
Jeez, that's children's television workshop stuff.
Yeah.
That's nice because I think the entire money that PBS got from was like $100 million.
It's ridiculous.
Something dumb. Like not even his golf budget so far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So far.
Not even his Secret Service details.
Right. So it's like it's of no consequence whatsoever.
Yeah. It really isn't. And it does do a lot of good. A lot of people have learned much from that program over the years.
Oh, sure. Sure. And sure, PBS in general, yes, and besides just the children's programming, right? But remember, that's therefore in every community, and I think we forget about that because not all communities had cable, right? But they all had to have a local public radio and public television station, right? It's like we take a lot of that for granted. Non-biased information, right? Because elsewhere there's information and all of it's potentially manipulated, but I mean radio and such elsewhere is just bonkers. So I don't know. Yeah.
So good for them. I'm glad it's still around. It's been on the air for 56 years. Late 60s. Yeah,
that totally sounds right. And was a struggle to get on then, man.
I think it was.
Right? Oh yeah. Because that was right at the beginning of the Great Society stuff, right? And there was plenty of pushback on that.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, where this is echoes of that, right? Of that pushback.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just read a little article on Johnson's Great Society, and I mean, it was not universally hugged when it came along.
No?
But, man, it was a brave and bold thing. It just never got to mature like it was supposed to.
Right. Yeah.
But it really, I mean...
Thanks, McGovern.
I
kid.
Yeah.
I kid, because he got shellacked, right?
Shellacked, yeah. But the shenanigans, I blame the rest of it on the Reagan Revolution and then the weird Gingrich psychos, the Grover Norquist cult.
Right.
They're just ding-dongs.
Mike, couple of big celebrity deaths. I don't know if you know because you don't follow football as much as I do, at least pro football. Rest in peace, Jim Irsay passed away at 65. He's a longtime owner of the Indianapolis Colts. His dad was the owner before him, so he sort of inherited the team, I think, in the early 90s. But his dad was the person that moved the team, because it used to be the Baltimore Colts. Moved the team out of Baltimore and went to Indianapolis. Brought the team to Indianapolis, which welcomed it with open arms. Jim Irsay was sort of the owner when they had their heyday, because they had a heyday way back in the 60s and early 70s when they were a perennial playoff team and all that stuff. It wasn't until Jim took over, drafted Peyton Manning forehead, and they actually ended up going and winning the Super Bowl.
Eli Manning on
Eli was
right?
No, he was Giants. Peyton was the older brother that ended up on the Colts, and then Denver. When Seattle won the Super Bowl, beat him in Denver.
Oh, geez, that's great.
Yeah,
poor forehead guy.
No cause of death. The guy was very open and honest about his drug and alcohol problems. Had many stints in rehab. Wrote a book about it. It was recently as 2023. Had an overdose episode. Stuff like that. Kind of reminds me of Paul Allen in this aspect, not the drugs and alcohol, but was an avid collector of rare memorabilia type stuff. So he owned like a famous Elton John piano. He owned a pair of Muhammad Ali's championship boxing gloves, stuff like that. And I guess at one point some Saudi Arabian sheik magnate, prince something, offered him like $1 billion for his whole collection of rare odd items that he collected over the years. $1 billion was on the table for him to give up all this stuff, and he said no. And he was also in a band. He was in the Jim Irsay band, so he played an instrument, and Paul Allen, I think, did the same thing, kind of thing. So interesting that they kind of followed that same footprint. So rest in peace to him. His family, he had all daughters who were all involved in the Indianapolis organization. Don't know who's going to take over, day-to-day stuff. But excuse me. And rest in peace, one of the guys I grew up with, George Wendt, 76. Everybody knows him as Norm, walking into Cheers. Mom and I used to, Cheers was our jam. Remember the Thursday night lineup on TV in the 80s? I think it was Family Ties, Cosby Show, Family Ties, Night Court, Hill Street Blues, and Cheers. And so Cheers was one of those shows that Mom and I always watched together. So I would always, whatever I was doing, kind of make it into her room. She had a little color set in their bedroom, and I'd always make it in there, and we'd watch Cheers together.
That's fantastic.
Which was kind of fun. So reminded me of Mom.
Yeah, pretty wholesome shit, right?
I mean, there was some adult themes that probably went over my head, dating and, maybe some sex jokes or something like that, but nothing too, it was the 80s, mid-80s, nothing too crazy. He was one of 3 actors that appeared in every episode of Cheers, which went on for, I think, like 8 or 9 years. I mean, it was a long time, 300 plus episodes, something like that.
Lots some other careers, quite a few other careers.
And then he also, continued his character onto Frasier.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know
I think
that.
all the Cheers folks ended up on Frasier.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's great. Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of fun tributes to him. I guess he got his start in 1974 at Chicago's the Second City Theater there, doing improv stuff. He was also in Airplane 2, the sequel.
Nice.
And I was trying to remember because I know I've seen it.
I think I saw it in theaters and not since.
not as good as the first one.
Because it's so good.
And then he was also in one of the most famous skits, I think. People quote it still to this day on Saturday Night Live. He was in Dub Bears.
Oh, sure.
Played the football fan with the Dub Bears. You know.
Oh, no, that's
that
great.
kind of thing for Chicago. And he's the uncle. His sister's kid is Jason Sudeikis. The guy from Ted Lasso.
That's great.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
No, that's just sad.
But that's his nephew. So.
Jeez, that's great.
Yeah.
And an avid punk rock fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I think he was friends with the Muffs.
Oh.
Yeah, who the drummer for a time for the Muffs, because they're L.A. mostly, but Chris Kress, who's a Seattle guy.
Okay.
Drum for those guys.
Interesting. Yeah. It's a small world.
Yeah.
6 degrees. Mike, that's all the news I got. Yeah, you mentioned the Tapper book. Any other
the
big
budget that was pushed through reconciliation.
I didn't get a chance to really read everything on it.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But that doesn't bother me as much as the destruction of institution and tradition, right? Those are the big sticking points throughout this whole
because you can change a budget
so far. Yes, any of that stuff, can be fixed. I just don't trust the National Democrats to really do it, right? They haven't shown me any evidence of being up to the task. So that worries me a lot. But then just this whole, just the scale of destruction with no plan really bothers me, because that's no way to run anything but the most radical of capitalist companies, those weird, toxic capital companies that buy and liquidate businesses.
I'm thinking of Wolf of Wall Street.
Stuff like that. But that doesn't belong anywhere near a government that can and has done help for its citizens.
Yes.
Right? So, that's been on my mind.
Yeah, I'm going to dive back into that a little bit.
And I think it's like a 1,000-page budget. It's huge.
Yeah, it's like 1,100
all the
pages.
more reason why. Yeah, it used to take months to hammer out budgets and shit. It's like, fuck all y'all.
Yeah.
Had all this stuff preloaded. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
So gross. It's so gross.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. The Dems have got flat foot. And one cowardly, I think, Republican voted present.
Yes.
Which is I
think it was 2 or 3 coming out of the subcommittee or the committee
just so fucking cowardly.
Yeah.
How dare you? How dare you?
And that's just, So I can go back to my constituents and say, well, I didn't vote yes, I didn't vote no.
What a wishy-washy.
Shit.
Man,
Cowardly,
pick a fucking side.
You know it's bad. You know it's bad for your constituents. Vote no.
There's no way it's not going to affect someone in every single district in this country. It's not possible for it not to. In a negative way.
Right.
In a negative way.
Right.
It's and being sold that we might save money on taxes, and we all have tax fatigue and all that. I fucking get it, dude. You know what I mean? And we also don't feel like we're getting anything back for it, even though we are in spades, right?
Well, I remember at the height of the Doge thing when they were like, oh, we're saving X amount of dollars, and it was like $100 million. We saved, $125 million, whatever it was, right? And we're going to send that back to the American people. And I'm like, okay, if you send it back just to the taxpayers, everybody can expect like $3.20. That was some weird number.
And then they promised $5,000 and all this just stupid shit.
It's bullshit.
That they were just suckers. Just a sucker's game.
P.T. Barnum.
Yeah, dude. But the more we kind of see the pattern of it, Doge is just a data collection scam, right? Because he really, and to take away all the liability against his companies. So he invested $290 million into the presidency or whatever, but has saved hundreds of billions of dollars, let alone guaranteed new contracts for hundreds of billions of dollars, et cetera. It's like
money well spent.
Just the eradication of these institutions with no plan plan to help any of the citizenry.
Yeah, and I did hear, and I got to dive into it because I didn't read the article, but that the administration has already gone to the federal courts to be able to hide what Doge did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, certainly, because they're not, the freedom of the FOIA stuff doesn't work on them, and all this kind of stupid shit. It's like, obviously gross and illegal, and the opposite, they're like, it's the deep state. The deep state, all their secrets.
Right.
We need transparency.
Yeah. Then release the
Epstein so that was a lie. Oh, sure, of course, but no.
But yeah.
Come on.
No.
Yeah. No. Because that's a whole class of people.
It really is.
That's a class of people that are not
Panama Papers.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Well, yeah, just nobody prosecuted over that, right?
Well.
And we kind of went, well, we'll lower our tax rates so you could onshore it again. But now we just not only are going to lower the tax rate, but not to onshore, but because we got rid of the tariffs. They were the incentive to onshore.
Right.
But we still got to lower the taxes, so we also lower income there. But then the digital currency field. Right, so that's the laundering going on.
Right.
Panama Papers is old-fashioned.
Yes.
Right? Oh, no, the digital, until somebody breaks one of those.
Right.
That's all that's going to take.
Yeah.
Because you can break into the Bank of London and steal all of that gold or whatever. It's not going to happen. Or Fort Knox or whatever. It's like, or a bank in general. It just doesn't work that way. But if somebody can sting, either poison one of those sites or whatever, throw a fucking virus at it or whatever, that's the only way anybody's going to want protection.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Until it's threatened. They're like, no, the Fed's got to help us.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. But that's the money laundering of the future.
Aspect,
Well, of now. We're watching it happen.
Right now.
Oh, yeah. We're watching it happen.
Yeah. Geez, Mike, well, Sharon is a caring. What you got this week? I know you've been dealing with some stuff.
Yeah, I got some stuff, but so that I've seen some, I got a family member with a medical emergency, but I've seen progress in their
which is great.
Which is great. So I feel more optimistic than I have up until now. Yeah. So that's nice.
Yeah, because you're always in a low point when you're dealing with stuff like that.
Because
you're making decisions.
Yes, and bodies are fragile at times, man. They really, most of the times, but we just don't think they are until they are, right?
Yeah.
But they really are. Be kind to your people. Pretty please, be nice to people. Because I'm telling you, it's fleeting. It's fleeting. As much as you can. But also climbers, so those of you watching it Tuesday, and not just here for the time capsule aspects, we're going to be partying across the block there at Premier Meat Pies.
Yes.
I call it, for the Mary Climber launch party. Yes. For her candidacy for
some nice pictures
the written city council. So.
Yes.
And she really is duly suited to such a thing.
Very much so.
She's mature in thought, but light in heart.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So she's not looking to come up over anybody else. She wants us all to have a better life and to live our
a smart person with a wonderful heart and a very much big love for this city and this community. So honest. Could not ask for a better candidate.
At all. I really am into it. So So that's Thursday 5 to 8.
Thursday, so we're recording early.
We are
in the week anyway. Which is fine. Get to see Mike a little sooner than.
So that'll be fun. 5 to 8, and so that is the 29th of May in the year 2025. Just so we can time capsule this.
Right across the street. Not hard to find. 3rd and Main.
3rd and Main.
Right on the corner.
Oh yeah, no, it's good too.
Come down and get some delicious pies, some delicious cocktails, some poutine.
Yeah, no lie.
Sweet
Gravy.
pie. Just come down for dessert.
Yes.
It's
all of the above. There's going to be a drink for the launch. It's a mystery to me now.
Okay.
But they've got a full bar, which I'm not afraid of.
Yeah, we're going to come down. We got to time it right because the kid's doing the swam practice, so she'll be at the pool for a while. So maybe we'll sneak down while she's doing that for an hour or so, and then get home to her. But come down and say hi. Mike and I'll be there.
Oh yeah.
So come say hi to us, but revel in the awesomeness that is Climber.
And hey! If God's all powerful, can you make a rock you can't lift, huh? Do you think you could be on city council? I asked you a question.
Yeah, and I know she's been very in tune to what's been happening in the past few years here. So she knows the comings and goings, and she knows the concerns that the citizens have here.
I mean, because they are in charge of, taking money and putting it into places where the citizens need it.
Yes.
So need it and want it.
Yeah.
So where are some of the places that you see that we need it, and some of the places that you would want it? Right?
Yeah, and she's got a great background too, because she's got business ownership here. Right now, but also in the past, storefront stuff. And she's also been on the Rent and Arts Commission.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Which has done wonderful stuff around the city.
And did more in the time she was on. I'm not saying it's all because of her,
right?
But the time that she was on it, they did more for art and artists in Renton than in all of the previous history of the city of Renton, including '76 when we got the river walk and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
because the river walk, I'll call it park. Yeah. I'm not going to call that art per se, but the art along the side of it, etc. No, she did so much. They have done so much. I'm really happy about that.
And art is so important for a community.
And it supports artists, and they're like people. Right? So it is nice. It's a good use of municipal dollars, I think, most of the time. Sometimes I don't get it. But that's okay.
So come down, support Mary, support the campaign. Check it out if you're unsure, because she's not running unopposed. But if you're not sure, come down and hear her out.
See what she's got to say about it. Free cat. Free cats for everyone.
That would be great.
No, we're not doing that.
Oh my God. What else? Anything else going on in the world? You've just been so busy with
that. I listened to a neat podcast while I was doing
talking about that a little bit.
10 Apocalypses.
It sounds fascinating.
It was really neat. It's cool, kind of sci-fi, but kind of jumps off in a bunch of different directions and can, because of its subject matter, be kind of standalone stories for each of the 10, but there really is a cool through story. It's really neat with the same characters, and so just the way that it was done in that sense, like these different episodes, some of the main few characters were the same, although they were different each time. But still the same people, but just kind of in same actors and same characters.
Not to compare it to, but what was that? It kind of feels like that Tom Cruise, Halle Berry movie where it was like they were the same actors and same maybe.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. What did I say?
A Cloud Atlas.
Cloud Atlas.
Yeah, I do. Kinda, sorta. I kind of think like. I thought, isn't it 12 Monkeys?
Oh, right.
Like a 12 Monkeys slash, because it still has to do with an apocalypse.
Now I'm more intrigued,
and kind of a multiverse kind of thing. Because sooner or later, because they're trying to combat one problem, which is a cool problem, it kind of leads to its own set of problems.
And I did we just went down to Rain City Market, had some awesome turkey sandwiches. If you get a chance, head down there. And just Mike was talking about it, and I did a cursory glance, and it looks like it kind of jumps around different years, different eras, and all that kind of stuff.
In fact, different different universes. So they really are like a multiverse, or whatever you want to call it, right? But on purpose.
And this is fairly recent, because it looks like the last episode maybe came out in January or something. Like so it's fairly recent.
No, I really enjoyed it.
So,
I should reach out to him or something. Hit him with a Patreon.
There you go. For sure.
Tanis. There's only one Tanis.
There's only one Tanis. Unless it comes back. I mean, it kind of just left me hanging a little bit. But
he got movie deals.
Yeah. He's a busy guy. Sunday we went up and listened to the kids sing. She did a recital up there in the Claw, Enum Claw. We took a whole mess of kids up there, so she had a nice big cheering, groupies, which was great. And Heather, friend of the show, voice extraordinaire, she showed up with one of the kids, and they watched. So it was nice. She did. All I Ask, I think, is the name of the song, and it's by Adele. I think.
Nice.
I thought she was doing a Billie Eilish song, but it was Adele's song.
Cool, yeah.
And she did a good job with it.
Fantastic.
So all the kids did a great job up there. We're always real impressed. Before that, on Friday night, I took the kid and one of her friends to see the Sinners, which we talked about.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
All right.
Really enjoyed it. I would go say, I'm not going to tell you too much, but clever,
all right,
interesting, and well done, and very well acted. And I appreciated because it takes place like in the 30s in the South, like Mississippi or Alabama, something like that. So I appreciate it, and a lot of blues music. Buddy Guy makes an appearance, which is kind of cool.
That's cool.
So yeah, I do recommend going to see it. I don't know if it's going to be streaming soon, but it's doing well in the theater, so I might be there for a bit.
Geez, cool.
Yeah.
And she did fine with it?
She did fine with it. There was a couple of jump scares, not a huge amount, some violence, some shooting, and, they're battling friggin' vampires, so there's going to be stuff. But very well acted, beautiful people in there. The vampires are funny. There's humor in it. So it kind of, so yeah, you just have to go check it out.
All right. Yeah, it's also Michael B. Jordan, right?
Michael B. Jordan in dual role, plays twin brothers.
Nice. Oh, that's cool.
So it's kind of cool.
Neat.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, geez. Well, Mike, ending this here program on something positive, and what I did was I took a bunch of short quotes from those poets that are in the Jim Morrison era. So I've got a couple from Oscar Wilde, a couple from Gertrude Stein, and a couple from Jim Morrison himself. Oscar Wilde said, "Some cause happiness wherever they go. Others, whenever they go." I've always liked that quote. And then I never saw this quote before, but I thought it was funny. Folks, life is too short to learn German.
Oh my God, that's funny.
And I can say that. I'm German ancestry, 60-something%, so no angry letters. Gertrude Stein said, "One must dare to be happy."
I'll buy that.
Yeah. And she also said, "We are always the same age inside." And that made me think for a minute, because you don't feel, because it's like an everyday occurrence. You just get older, but you always feel who you are inside. Jim Morrison said, "A friend is someone who gives you total freedom to be yourself." So go ahead and be the Lizard King and wear them leather pants. He also said, "Nobody would stay interested in me if I was normal."
Oh, geez.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Somebody might.
You're also like 6 feet tall and good looking. It's like doing fine, Jim Morrison.
Well, he wouldn't be interesting. Yeah. Oh, geez. All right. Well, Mike, let's leave it there. Thanks for playing the news game with me. We're working on some guests. We've got like 2 or 3 that are gonna come on. It's just getting the timing right. So we'll do that. If not, we will have a fun topic to discuss next week.
I appreciate you being here, sharing time with us.
Yes.
In this time capsule.
We're going to go ahead and end and go to our bonus round. You guys can find us in the bonus round. Go to the website and hit the members only tab there. You can sign up. It's like $3 a month or $30 a year. Got some bonus content in there, a whole bunch of top 5s where we talk, pick a subject and then give our top 5s and give you our reasons why. Or you can also find it over on Patreon, which is French. Franche. Forgive us money. Say that in German.
Yeah, pretty please.
Yeah.
Just to do it.
Just go do it. And we appreciate you if you are a subscriber.
No, very much. Honestly. Cheers.
All right, see ya.
Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you think this episode is worth $1 or $5, the boys would love to have it. Please go to ourtownpod.store for merch or to donate now. For less than a cup of coffee, you can also join the website in the member-only area for exclusive bonus content, blogs, and more. It's just $3 a month or $30 a year. Thank you for listening to this production of Our Town Podcast Extraordinaire.